Jack.
Hey folks, happy second day of Lent. For those of you who are wondering what the hell Lent is, it's when Christians deprive themselves of something for 40 days in preparation for Easter. I have decided to give up alcohol, and this is how I'm doing. It's only been a day. Yingling Lager, the oldest brew in America. Welcome to Jivin with Jack.
Get ready, get jiving.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and genders all across the spectrum here in the United States and across the globe to episode 6, season 2 of Jivin with Jack here on the Poindexter Lounge as part of the Poindexter pantheon. We have a lot to talk to you today about. Yes, we're talking Batman, but again, no spoilers because many of you haven't seen it. And more importantly, I haven't seen it. I'm seeing it tomorrow. However, just like Tuesday, I want to thank William for joining us. I have two guests who have seen it and non-spoilerish are going to talk about it. Plus, I have some questions about Warner Brothers. You know, like many of you, I've been crapping hard on Warner Brothers. I hate what they did to the Snyderverse. I hate what they did to the Snyder Cut. But if this movie is everything it's kind of been built up to be, maybe in a weird way, Warner Brothers has been on track because they knew this is coming. And if this is going to be really good, it gives me more hope for The Flash because I think The Flash could also be a sleeper, not just in terms of box office. I think it could be a very good movie. Plus, I promise you Britney Spears photos, and I have them. Yes, they are censored, but I'll be honest with you, the fact that they're censored kind of makes them hot. Last but not least, about a month ago, Kanye released a song called Easy, nod to the late, great Eazy-E and the song Easy Does It. The video just got released yesterday. In it, it shows him burying Pete Davidson alive. Just when I was working on today's show, and I'm like, we don't have enough controversy, Kanye West releases that video. It's like God is smiling on me. But I have my co-host, and I have a special guest, arguably the second most controversial man on the internet. But first, let me bring in the man with the $1 million voice, Austin Lean 316.
I'm back. I'm alive. I am alive.
You're alive.
I'm alive. I'm here this week. I know I missed Tuesday. Had a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, William so generously filled in.
Oh my God, he was wonderful.
As I had seen the Batman with him the night before. Yep.
Of all the people, except for you, that I've met, that is really eloquent in the way he breaks down what he's talking about. You know what I mean? I enjoyed like listening to him, and I'm like, I gotta watch that Sci-Fi Center more because he's
phenomenal.
Really,
Fridays
just point by point.
Yeah,
it's like phenomenal. He told us so much about the movie without actually telling us what the movie was, and it was great to have him on. He is welcome anytime. You know, I might be looking for a new co-host soon.
Yeah. Let me see here. I do want to. Did you just say? Wait a minute. Hey, back things up. But no, first of all, hey, as you said, we want to thank all of our viewers, everybody who's tuned in these last couple weeks. Dude, we've obviously since joining, we've had more views on this show than we've ever had, than we ever, I think, really expected to have. I never thought we would be getting like 500 views on a video or that type of stuff. So it's been really, really cool. I'm really grateful to the audience and to everybody. But this is a good leading question before we get into everything. Jack, do you want to answer this? For those of you who don't know, what's happening.
Where have you been? You don't know about the Pantheon? The Pantheon. Basically, we were taken. We were poached. No, that's not true. Basically, the Pantheon is a new series of shows on the Poindexter Lounge. Jivin with Jack, I would like to say, is the sort of edgier brand of the show, in which I'll say about the show is your nipple again, where we talk about pop culture. We talk about current events happening in pop culture. A little later. Yeah, we're going to save the nipple for later.
We save that for...
Yeah, so Jivin with Jack. We're in season 2. We're like the, I'd like to say maybe the Howard Stern of Poindexter Lounge, but not as crazy. Not
Oh
as
God.
sleazy and a lot better looking.
That's a comparison. We're the Howard Stern of Poindexter Lounge. That's exactly what
Also,
we are.
we're going to talk about this too because we're going to talk about it. That's not what the show's going to be about, but to give you an idea, we are all for the restore of the Snyderverse, but we're kind of at war with the ones who say we should boycott the movie.
Are we all for restore the Snyderverse?
Okay, you're not, but I am. I still want it done. I'm still for it, and I even have a cool opening for when it is restored, if it ever is restored.
Well, there you go.
But I won't tell you what it is. But if it doesn't happen, okay, I'll move on. But we want to talk about the Batman. Star Wars 95 is here. Toronto Freddy. Save a nipple for later. Can't wait. Going to see it with my daughter. I see Ibrahim Khan. Assalamu alaikum, my friend. We have edits here. Can DC beat Marvel? My friend. Marvel was not able to beat DC for like 30 years. And now look at them. And again, I'm not talking about box office. I'm talking about quality writing and storytelling. I think it'll be a long time before DC ever, or if it ever catches up.
We're also talking like the last now 4 or 5 DC things have been really good. The Snyder Cut, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, the Batman.
And there's no doubt that Aquaman 2 will probably be a hit. There's no doubt that The Flash, with Andy Muschietti behind it, will be at least, at worst, a good movie. I don't think it'll be a bad movie. It may make decisions that some of the fans may not like, but I don't think it'll be a bad movie. And you know what? Screw it. I'll go far back and say that even Birds of Prey was an interesting effort. Was it the best movie? No. Was it a great movie? No. But at least it tried to push the edges a little bit. At least they made a villain that was somewhat interesting. He was, I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I like it. I've watched it a couple times since then. I liked how they told the story. I liked the chase sequence with the roller skates.
Oh, Black Adam's going to be huge. Black Adam.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, now they got joy. See, that movie could be bad, but will still make $1 billion. I don't think it'll be bad. But because it's got The Rock in it, it's going to be effing huge. Wow, a lot of people here. I see Star Wars 95. I see Jared. I see Tarun. You're seeing it tomorrow? Okay. Someone has been tweeting that no one in India is going to go see this movie. Not Tarun, but I don't know if you've been following our friend Geralt. I guess he's from India. He's like, no one's watching in Mumbai. And I'm like, man, Geralt, you're making our people look bad.
Yeah, well.
I saw Cylon Scotty.
Yes, Cylon. We love Cylon.
Do you know what happened on Tuesday? Last Thursday?
Yes.
Because you messaged me and Ken. You're like, the show. Why'd you?
Yes. That Enosh came. Yeah, I saw it.
Wait.
Did he freeze or did I freeze? Okay.
And just like Austin, there's Austin. I want to see where is the wonderfully. Where's my ass kicker? There she is, Erin Pritchard, with the gi ready to kick the butt. And Sith Holocron, hats off, sir. Yeah, when I say DC can beat Marvel, I'm talking about quality of writing. Quality, because just the fact that HBO Max is making Batgirl tells me that they're not going to hold back. Now, do I think there's going to be TNA and Dong all over the place? No, but I think they can tell some harder stories, which is what I understand the Batman is kind of like. So,
yeah.
With your permission.
Exactly. I was just about to say that is exactly what the Batman is. The nice thing about the Batman, and one thing that I think we can all agree for the people that like the Snyderverse, is the Batman keeps the intelligence that Zack Snyder brought to DC.
Okay, well, let's get into it. And I do have a very controversial person kind of up. So, folks, thanks for joining us. We'll try to keep up with the chats. We do accept super chats. I do have to pay for Austin's Funyun, so if you guys use the super chats, much appreciated. Or if you want to give me money directly if you want to give me money directly without telling them, go to patreon.com/jivingwithjack. Let's get to it. All right. This is arguably the most controversial person I've ever had on my show, and thus will make it the most controversial topic I've ever had. He's a toxic person. I'm ashamed. But then if you want to time with Jack, I have very little shame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Resident Justice.
Good afternoon. What's up, everybody?
What's up, man?
Yeah, apparently I am public enemy number 2. Not number 1. There's someone above me right now, but apparently I'm public enemy number 2. So hopefully you don't get any tomatoes thrown your way, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, it's gonna be fun, man. I don't. I love it. I love me some tomatoes. But yeah, no. There you go. There you go.
No, that's what Dude, do you know that the Jivin with Jack Facebook page is when you froze and you did this and you were screaming?
Yes, I know.
And it was my Twitter handle, and then I started losing followers.
People thought it was you.
Yeah,
or people thought it was me. I mean,
yeah. So I put this gorgeous mug back up there. Toronto Freddy's here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to all the DC Marvel content, but you know what? Let's Ibrahim liked Birds of Prey. Yeah, I think that movie's overhated too. I think so too. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but like, how do I complain?
Oh God! It's RJ the traitor, heretic. Jarbo kiss art.
No, it's Jardo. I'm not sure who Jardo.
Haven't you worked with Jarbo also, Austin?
I love Jarbo.
I love Jarbo. Apply to you too,
I know it's no. I haven't. I've just been very quiet. I've been like I said, I've been kind of off Twitter the last couple of days. I'm just kind of keeping to myself and everything. But no, I love Jarbo. I like that. I like that. The heretic. Heretic, RJ.
Heretic, I know.
Is it bad that I've never seen anything with Jarbo in it? I'm aware of who he is, and I know that he's got a huge following.
He's been on our show, Jack.
So hold on. So Triton
on Jivin with Jack? He's been on Jivin with Jack?
He's been on Jivin with Jack.
Yes.
Even oh my God, Jack. I'm the one that smokes weed, remember? Me.
What was this?
I mean,
was it a while ago?
It was towards the beginning, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because I remember Dawson's been on.
No, even remember Enosh? He was on with Enosh and everything. Remember?
Is that the night I got?
No, that was no.
No.
He's been on the show, anyways.
I said, Jarbo, friend of the shows. Okay, can I say something that is going to get me canceled?
No.
It was an ill-timed joke. He shouldn't have done it. But, I don't like it, but it was still a joke. And I'm not defending the content of the joke. I'm defending the fact that it was a joke. In the same way that Dave Chappelle has said some stuff where you're like, oh, my God. And do I think he should be canceled? No. And you guys get funny.
I think it's funny. I'm getting canceled.
I'm getting out of here.
There. You know. No.
Be right back.
Shame on you, RJ, for not like giving a 2-hour speech when the show happened. I thought it was a terrible joke, but
apparently I didn't say nearly enough. Although my reaction was all that needed to be said, and I said a couple things during and after the show. But we won't mention that. We'll just throw.
But you are not obligated to like. The way I look at it, you're not obligated to like interrupt your show and be like, let me stop you here. Or, Jarbo, you have said something that crosses the line. And I'm ashamed.
Yeah. Well, apparently because I didn't come off strong enough, I apparently should never have been born. I should slit my wrists. I should do this.
Hold on a second. This is clever. Someone wants to promote their own show, and they paid us to do it. So technically, my friend, you are a paid advertiser.
Oh, it's George. Oh, my God. It's
George Peter
I know you.
Remastered 1941 Captain Marvel serial. I've seen that, by the way. And by Captain Marvel, he's referring to Shazam. It was premiering. Ooh, spelled premiering wrong. Damn it, George. You had one job.
Damn it,
on George Peter Gatsis on YouTube channel Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got to see the promo trailer. George, do me a favor. Drop a link to your channel in the chat, and I'll put it on the screen. Thank you so much, George Peter Gatsis.
Actually, I don't think I think it has to be a mod who does it, so I would take care of that for him. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, it's a mod, but thank you for the $10, folks. If you want attention from me, money's a great way to do it. But RJ and Saggy. Yeah, Saggy talked about cancel culture yesterday. I watched it afterwards. I wasn't there live, but Austin gets a pass. No, listen, I hate that everyone around me is getting into controversy except for me. Like this whole show is. I mean, look what I have as my background. I have Jennifer Beals getting soaked in water from Flashdance. But no one wants to cancel Jack because I would love the publicity.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I should do a music video of me burying one of my competitors. If that's a Kanye West thing. We're talking about that later. George's channel, guys. George, that is some great advertising. You are now a sponsor of Jivin with Jack, and you are also responsible for whatever we say next. That's on you, buddy. Is Austin on Facebook? What's his Twitter? I don't know if he's on Facebook because I don't think I'm friends with him on Facebook. He might be, but I don't know if he'll ask you. It was hilarious on Jarvis' stream last night. Mother Effa is demanding a written apology. You know what I said, RJ, a couple of actually, it might have been with you or it might have been with Cade. We were talking about Dave Chappelle. It was with Cade, and I said the trick to getting out of cancel culture is don't apologize. Because the second you apologize for something you said, even though if it was a joke or you didn't mean it that way, they win. Like, they're like, because I've never seen someone apologize
Well,
for
to be
a
fair,
joke or something.
just for clarification, I did not apologize.
Yeah,
All
and
I
not
did
you. I'm talking
was
about Jarbo, yeah.
Yeah.
You have nothing to apologize for.
No, I don't. I have nothing to apologize for, and I don't have anything to say. People know my character. People know what I stand for, what I'm all about. If you have an issue with that, then that's on you, and you can kindly go away. So,
Listen,
I mean,
you're young. Austin is young. Caden is young, and I'm guessing a lot of you are young. I'm the older one out of the group. Not as old as Enosh, but like I'm not. Enosh is maybe about 10 years older than I am, but I'm an older side of millennial. Humor can be offensive, and you have to kind of be okay with that. And look, I love South Park. I love Family Guy. And we can't be okay when it's offensive, when it's the things we like, and then when it's offensive, when it's something I don't like. I'm like, oh, blah, 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 like, as I mentioned, I'm Catholic, Family Guy and South Park crap on Catholicism all the time. And I have to laugh. I can't laugh at it when, like, they're making fun of other religions, but then they make fun of mine. I'm like, connected this to Jarbo. He made a joke that I would not make. It was offensive. It was meant to poke the bear. Even if he doesn't apologize or he didn't mean it in a negative way, like, I'm not going to lose sleep over it because I don't think he's a hateful person. You know what I mean? Like, like he said, there's context to it. I think there's greater context to it. I don't think he's that type of guy. At least I'm guessing.
No, like I said, it was a dumb, insensitive joke that kind of came out of nowhere. He apologized immediately. I don't stand by that. He's still my friend. I'm not going to do guilt by association and throw him under the bus. He's still someone I'm going to associate with.
Apparently he's been on Jivin with Jack. So
he's still someone I'm going to talk to. And if people have an issue with that, then you can, frankly, you can go kiss my ass.
Stupid. It's so stupid. Real quick, let me just do this. Cylon. Oh, there we go. Got to feed Austin. Yeah, he's a grown boy. Also, RJ, you're right. But since you're singularly responsible for no Cowboy Bebop season 2, I have forgiven you. Well, I didn't watch season 1. I refused to watch it. I was like,
I would say I'm single-handedly responsible for it, but I did
take the credit, RJ.
But
just take the credit. Just take it.
Listen, me and Austin take credit for Britney Spears' conservatorship being over because we were talking about it, and then it was over. We talked about Gabby Petito, and boom, they found her boyfriend's body. Tarun, do you guys not know what happened?
Some things are better left unexplained.
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. Jarbo made a very ill-conceived joke while he was streaming with RJ, and RJ was obviously, kind of like, caught off guard by it. And it was a very bad joke. It's not a joke, I would say, but I'm also not going to lose sleep over it. But now people are coming after RJ because he didn't go full Justice Warrior sign in Jarbo's face, screaming into a megaphone, angry at him. And so I was like,
Here's the thing, right? People, and I'll just say this on the whole topic, and we'll move on.
Yeah.
But that is, the thing of the internet. You are live. You are, you're doing your thing. And look, we all say things that mess up and stuff. Again, with any of these types of situations, I think we all have to look at the intent.
Yeah.
Jarbo messed up, said something wrong and stuff, but the overall intention was not, directed towards the Snyder stuff. Or one second.
Yeah. That's the story of Austin, by the way. He starts pointing, then he leaves. But anyway, he's back. Oh yeah. I was thinking Austin's a great co-host.
Yeah. But no, it wasn't. It's not directed, in a mean way towards all that and the stuff that happened. Again, not to excuse or defend it, but again, context and intention is a big part of it, and that's an important thing to look at.
I'll say this: the point he was trying to make, I understood 100%. It's just he just took it to a level it didn't need to be taken to. But again, he apologized for it. We're moving on. I'm moving on. If people want to again hold
harp
my
on it.
feet or his feet to the coal fires, and that's whatever. I was just there. I mean, listen, I'm just a guest. I offer what I can. I don't think I should be thrown under the bus simply for being there. I think it's a little ridiculous, but it is what it is, you know. I talk to who I want to talk to. I love talking to a variety of people. I love having conversations with people, even if it's people don't like. So if you have a problem with that, then you just got to deal with it, you know.
I have a saying that if you're thrown under the bus, have some fun while you're under there. Pull the brake line, pull the fuel, light a match, slash the tires, make that bus on fire. And yeah, the stupid people are coming after you. That's dumb. The anonymity of the internet gives people big balls that they otherwise will not have 99% of the day. And for them coming after you or Jarbo or anyone else, Saggy, Enosh, it gives them like that moment that they fantasize about, like standing up to the bully and punching them and being the hero, and girls in bikinis come and surround them and say, yay. So they're losers as far as I'm concerned. Not anyone watching this show. You guys are all great. But Jarbo is messed up. I can't watch enough of this content. I mean, if you haven't seen Jivin with Jack, oh dear.
Right.
That is true. Well, look, I think that here's the thing. The point he was making, I can see where he's coming from, and I want the Snyderverse restored. That for some people, they've made this their life and cause 24 hours a day. And
there are certain people who act like they want to be his literal children, right? I just think it's just when you take it to that level, it's just the point kind of gets diluted. It's like the point doesn't really matter anymore because you invoked a certain name to make a bad joke. So that's kind of just where it got taken too far.
Yeah.
But I get the point being made, though. Like, the point's fine. It's just,
And chances are, even if he hadn't made the joke, people would have gotten upset by the point he was making. But the stream was Hollywood After Dark, I guess. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, well, my thing is, too, I just think it's really funny, to me at least. It's just, if you truly hate all of us for talking about certain topics, then why are you watching and waiting to screen record every little thing we say?
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it funny to me. It's like people really are obsessive in that regard, to where it's like they just want to hang on every little word you say so they can find you messing up once. That way they can talk about it all over the internet.
Certain fan, ex-fan messaged me about agreeing with Enosh about something, and I was like, I don't remember saying it. And then like it hit me, oh, I did say that. I'm like, I just told him, I'm like, just get over it, man, and don't take these things too seriously. Like when I pick on Austin or Caden, or if I were to pick on any of you in the audience, it's always meant in jest. It's meant out of love. And that's something I think if anyone's ever had brothers, I never had a brother, but I had people who bullied me and I bullied them right back. It's sort of like a tough love type thing. And, like Kasuka, I tease her about her very incredible Japanese looks, Anyway, let me get, so I haven't seen the Batman. You guys have seen the Batman. There we go.
I've seen it twice.
You've seen it twice.
I've seen it twice.
That's what she said.
I've only seen it once.
I've seen it 0 times.
I'm the cool one this time around, RJ. I'm the cool one.
Let's start with Austin, who was supposed to give his review on Tuesday, but he's handing in his assignment now. Non-spoiler. You know what? You want to take away the screen, or do you want to do it?
Yeah, you guys can all stay here.
Okay, cool. I'll put the pictures up. Austin's non-spoiler review of Matt Reeves and Walter Amatis, the Batman.
The Batman. No, look, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was, from start to finish, probably the most well-done Batman story ever put on screen. It's a phenomenal film. I have some issues with it as far as the length and the exposition. Other than that, like I said, this is a movie. For me, it feels like this is the Batman for my generation, for people who grew up on the animated series, on the games, on Justice League. There's a lot pulled from that. There's a lot pulled from the comics. For me, it's not a 10 out of 10. For me, it was a 7.5 out of 10 was my final rating, and after seeing it twice. And that's, again, only because especially seeing it the second time, you really feel the length. It is 3 hours, and it drags in some parts. But overall, again, this is it feels like it's a film for Batman diehards. If you've read the comics, if you've kept up with, the Batman lore over the last couple of years, then you're going to be very, very satisfied with this movie and the direction that it's heading. Robert Pattinson is phenomenal as Batman. He turns in a great performance, but in my opinion, Paul Dano he steals the show. His Riddler is terrifying and full on insane, and I absolutely loved it. He gives a great performance. Jeffrey Wright as Gordon, phenomenal. So the whole cast turns it in. But I think for me, what I was really loving was just the use. I talk about a big problem with Batman versus Superman for me for all these years is they pulled way too much source material instead of focusing on kind of one thing. They were all over the place and it was messy and all that. This basically does that, but they focus on one storyline, and they pull elements from different source materials, whether it be comics, whether it be the games, whether it be the series, whether it be whatever the lore has been these last 25 years. They're kind of pulling from, but it's done in such an elegant and well thought out way that I think it's definitely the best Batman theme that we've gotten in the last 20 years.
Oh, wow. It's high praise.
High praise. But still a 7.5 out of 10. It's still very long. There's some unnecessary things. Not a fan of the whole year 2, or year 1 elements that were in it. But overall, really, really love it.
All right, RJ, you want to give your thoughts as well?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I have been waving the Matt Reeves flag for last 2 years. I have been championing this movie and the possibilities of what it could be for the longest time. And these trailers have been absolutely phenomenal, and my expectations were very high, perhaps even a little bit too high. But this movie not only lived up to my own expectations, but I think it even surpassed them. To me, this is the most definitive Batman movie and Batman story ever put to film. It is quintessential Batman storytelling in every sense of the word. And again, no spoilers. But the first 15 minutes of this movie is the most comic booky thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It literally felt like a comic book being brought to life in the best way possible. This movie captured aspects of the Batman character that, as a Batman fan, I could only have ever dreamed of. Just the fact that it captured aspects of the character that no other live action film has ever done before in so many different ways. I was just blown away. I think the performances are magnificent. I think that Robert Pattinson brought it. I from the moment he entered the frame as Batman, I believed him. I believed this was Batman, and in many ways, this feels a lot like the Batman the Animated Series in a lot of regards, but just heightened to that extra level, that more adult level that the cartoon could never get to because it was geared for kids. Still, at the end of the day, but to me, this has become, in my opinion, this is my definitive take on Batman. Like, the way Gotham City is portrayed, it's grimy, it's nasty, it's like almost apocalyptic about how hopeless it is. And I love the fact that it captured that Batman is meant to be a symbol of hope for those who are still good in this world. There is still a chance for good in Gotham City, which is an aspect that none of the other movies ever captured before. Not quite like this. I mean,
it's somehow being look. That's something, right, that's been popular. That Batman's super dark now, ever since the Nolan movies and all that. And this is super dark, but you're still inspired by the end.
Yeah, like I've never left a Batman movie feeling so inspired and hopeful, which is not typically words that get associated with the character, but those aspects of the character are there in the comic books, especially in like the Darwin Cook stuff, that have never been brought to the screen before. And to see that executed in the way it was, again, was just absolutely brilliant. And again, this is also very important to note. The cinematography in this film, the visual effects, this is a masterclass in filmmaking. This is what felt like this is like top tier blockbuster filmmaking, much in the same way I felt about the Planet of the Apes films, that was blockbuster, top tier blockbuster filmmaking. This was even more from a craftsmanship standpoint. This is a expertly put together film. Every shot, every choice is meticulous. It's well defined. There's a reason for it. The editing choices as well are absolutely fantastic as well. The score by Michael Giacchino, if this is not nominated for an Academy Award next year, I would be shocked. It is one of the best scores. The way it's implemented in the film is absolutely fantastic. I left this movie wanting more. I want that Penguin spinoff show. I want that Gotham PD spinoff. I want a sequel right away. I desperately want to be in this world more, and I can't speak highly of it. I honestly think this is about borderline masterpiece levels. I truly do. For me, I was gripped throughout. I did not have much of an issue in regards to pacing. I think that towards the end, maybe you could have trimmed the movie by at least like 10 to 15 minutes, although I'm not sure what you could have cut because again, everything is just so well put together. But
it's for me, it's the shots linger a lot. It's an issue with the cinematography. As beautiful as it is, every shot lingers.
But the thing is with that, at least in my opinion, I thought it was a meticulous choice. Though there was a reason for it, right? Like,
I didn't find a reason for it.
The words you're using, RJ. Real quick, Katsuka, are you still here? Just say you're still here and let me know.
Katsuka, are you alive?
The way you're talking about the cinematography, the way you're talking about the music, a world you want to see more of. This is kind of where I thought post-Endgame Marvel would go, and I would just say sans Spider-Man No Way Home, I've been kind of disappointed with them. And I keep harping on this, but this is where it comes to my question, or the question I posed in the thumbnail and the description. Here, Kasuka, yeah, so I had the picture pulled up of what I think you look like, because I saw this character in Cyberpunk. I'm like, that's how Kasuka looks like in my head. And I uploaded it, but then William came on. I don't know if you got to see it, but this is it. This is what Katsuka looks like. That is Katsuka. Hot, young Japanese girl with red hair. Anyway, but going back to my point, like, I would wish Marvel would do that. And Marvel has kind of done that, but, like, outside of the MCU. If you look at, let's say the first two Spider-Man movies that Raimi did, there was attention paid to detail with shots and everything. But when Martin Scorsese kept talking about like real cinema, I think he was talking about like a lot of times, and I've said this post Avengers, that a lot of the films are filmed like a TV show. It's just like put these people in frame. Hey, Enosh is here. By the way, anytime you see Poindexter Lounge replying to you guys, chances are that's me. I should write Jack, but that is actually Enosh. But I would love for Marvel to do something like the Batman, like Peacemaker.
Yeah.
That's what I love too about it.
I've gotten is the Netflix Marvel. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what I love about this movie. There's an authorship to it. I think Robert Meyer Burnett put that very well, where it's like it feels like a filmmaker with a singular vision brought this. I mean, they've been talking a lot about how this is meant to invoke David Fincher films like Seven. If you've not watched the Bong Joon-ho film Memories of Murder, I got some vibes of that as well.
Zodiac. I'm a huge K-drama fan. What's it called?
Memories of Murder. It is a South Korean film by the director of Parasite, Bong Joon-ho. It is about South Korea's most infamous serial killer case.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to take a look at that because I'm a big
It's a phenomenal movie. I mean, this is a serial killer movie. I mean, that it is a true detective story. It's
even scary at some points.
There's some scary imagery in this movie.
Not even imagery, but like there's a good jump scare in there that you're like, where did this come from? And there's some good stuff in there. Like it's different.
What reminds me of The Dark Knight is that a lot of people are comparing this to the Zodiac film. And I remember when The Dark Knight came out, everyone compared it to Michael Mann's Heat. I don't know if you guys ever saw Heat back in the day.
It was definitely like a Michael Mann type crime thriller. Yeah, this and very much in the same vein. What I love about this is that much in the same way that Christopher Nolan films invoked a certain style of crime thriller from like the Michael Mann era, this invoked the David Fincher style of serial killer crime detective story. A little bit of Bong Joon-ho, Memories of Murder 2. That's one of the most famous serial killer movies of all time as well. But again, it like I said, I never lost interest. And that was something that I was a little concerned about. It's like, okay, this is a 3-hour movie. It's a long noir detective story. I was hooked from beginning to end. There was not a low point in this movie for me. I was like, okay, I'm invested in the story. The action sequences from a choreography standpoint
That's
are
what I want to ask you
fantastic.
about.
Yeah.
Because the one thing Nolan did with his 3 movies, he did big scale action, especially The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. With the issues I have with that third film, the scale was like huge, in terms of set pieces. And I wasn't sure with this one, from what I've seen in the trailers, whether there would be scale to it. Like, Batman protects Gotham. The threats have to be, threatening. Let me ask you this. Someone asked earlier, and I know maybe this is too soon to ask this question. Grace Randolph answered it in her way, and I liked her list. Is he the definitive Batman? If you had to make a choice right now, gun to your head.
Yes. Yeah, for me, yeah.
Okay.
I can't. You know what? I can't say that because it's only his first film. It's only his first film, and he's not Batman yet. He's called Batman. He's all that, but he's not Batman from the comics yet. The elements are there. It's all there.
The one thing I gather from what people are telling me, like the one thing about Batman is traditional Batman, where he's already been at it for a few years. He has an amazing sense of control.
Right.
Like,
so for me,
his anger, his fear, his emotions, his lust, his love. This guy seems to be. He doesn't have that zen. He's not.
He's not there yet. He's not there yet. And at the same time, right? He is like I said. The elements are there, but there's a beautiful moment in the movie, and it's in the trailer, so this isn't a spoiler. Where Riddler tells him, "Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were," and it's that great realization is like, yeah, this isn't. He's not there yet. He's not.
Well, what I would say though is that let me clarify that. What I would say is that by the end of the film, and again with no spoilers, there's a moment towards the end of this film to where he leaves this movie, to where, in my opinion, he becomes the definitive Batman. It's hard. It's hard to get into and explain without spoilers, but again,
you're right. The moment is there, but I haven't. I need to see that next movie for me to say.
Which might be a while. It's interesting because the way Nolan approached it, day one in Batman Begins, when he's Batman, he's already there. He's got the mind. He's got his mind under control. He's an ultimate fighter. He really doesn't get his butt kicked until he fights Ra's al Ghul. Like, he is fully trained, fully armed, fully ready. You know what I mean? And I kind of like that. Like, all right, no, he doesn't hit. I'm talking about like that 1 hour point where Batman becomes Batman, Christian Bale's Batman. Like, there's a very small learning curve. His learning curve came in the second film when he's fighting a villain he can't figure out.
Well, I want to clarify too. What I mean by definitive Batman too is that this is the Batman that most reflects what Batman should be. It reflects the Batman from the comics, the animation, and Nolan's Batman was the most definitive Batman take you could get if it's Batman in the real world. Like, if Batman truly existed in our modern society, what would that look like?
So would you say more so than the Nolan movies? Because Nolan kind of did the whole thing like, oh, there's no Superman, there's no Ra's al Ghul isn't immortal, he's just a guy.
Grounded. It's grounded, but not like the Nolan movies.
No, it's grounded. It's grounded, but I feel like there's room for some fantasy, yeah.
So where Nolan's movies are grounded in our reality, this is grounded in a comic book reality.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Would you kind of say that about, let's say, the first season of Daredevil? Because that's New York, it's grounded.
Yeah, a little bit.
Natural elements, but like it's gritty, disgusting.
Because Kingpin Wright still is a little bit stronger than the average, all that type of stuff. So you still have
and to answer your question, Star Wars 99 or 95, yes, this is a movie I would definitely say is must see in theaters. This is a movie you need to see on the biggest screen possible. Yes,
it is.
Yeah, I'm good. William was on Tuesday, and he was saying 3 hours. So I told my dad, like, after like 2 p.m. We're seeing at 7. Don't drink anything. Fast, don't drink anything. Buy some popcorn and have some soda. Because you don't want to. Unfortunately, I made the mistake. I had to pee at some point during Spider-Man No Way Home. At worst,
I did fall asleep both times. But I do, before we bring up that comment, because I want to bring this up. I know. I see it. I just want to say this. Because, Watcher, I do agree that by the next film, by the time Robert Pattinson is done, he's going to be the Batman for our generation. But like us, that, like I said, that grew up on the animated series, that grew up playing the Arkham games, grew up just around that type of Batman, I truly believe that's the
really,
Batman.
the Arkham games, because a lot of people compared Affleck's Batman to the Arkham games because of the size.
No. Affleck doesn't even touch the
Affleck doesn't go close to the Arkham games. This is
touch, dude.
I'm talking about physicality, though. Like that.
You'll see. This isn't a spoiler, but you'll see even certain things about the Riddler that you go, "Oh, that feels like something from the Arkham games."
Okay. I see what you're saying. I meant more physically, like in the Arkham games, he's like 6'10" and like built like Schwarzenegger in '76. And
Right.
like,
well, I'll say this because I know there's a lot of people who are Batfleck fans who are like, nobody can touch Ben Affleck. Here's what I'll say though: Ben Affleck's Batman is like almost the definitive Batman team up version of the character, like a Batman that could realistically interact with other superheroes.
Right. He's the definitive Batman for a Justice League. Right?
Yeah, like he's the definitive Justice League Batman. This is the definitive solo Batman, in my opinion. That's the difference here.
Because look, I grew up with Michael Keaton, and I was never I was happy with Bale just because I remember Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, and Bale was such a step up. But when I saw Affleck's Batman, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize I needed this Batman. He's older, he's rougher.
Yeah, that's the great thing. Each Batman thus far has brought something different to the role.
Yeah.
However, this
right now, Affleck is my top guy. Like if it's him and Keaton's like right there. Like if Affleck is a 10, then Keaton's a 9.9999 repeating. Like
right.
Those are my.
And I should clarify too. Like I love this. Like this is the definitive solo Batman for me. But I couldn't see this Batman interacting in a world with the Superman or anything like that. I think it deserves to stay on its own, exist in its own little world. Right.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair enough, and I hope they don't pull any crap in the Flash for like, oh, now he's our Batman too. Like I don't think that's going to be the case.
But yes, I do want to just protest. Actually, I fell asleep after the first 40 minutes the first time because it starts to drag for a second. And it wasn't long. I was asleep for 10 minutes.
You also had too much to drink too, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That was the first time. The second time, I was completely sober and I still fell asleep.
Mega Podtastic
yes.
says, I can honestly say, and look, we're not going to hate on you. I hated the Batman. It's just far too grounded in reality. It's far too long. It's boring. There was a single moment of levity. It took itself too far serious. See, that's what I kind of want. I would like.
Well, I mean, that's what Batman. Yeah, I mean, that's what Batman is, though. That's what he's become in the modern era.
Like, honestly, if you can't give me a Marvel movie that's as serious as Blade 2, to me, then there's a problem. No offense, to anyone, but I get
it. I mean, that's the thing, though. Like the Batman character in a solo movie like this, there shouldn't be. I mean, listen, there are moments of levity, in my opinion. There's some moments where you get some chuckles and some good laughs, and there's a couple moments where they let it breathe a little bit. But it shouldn't be a huck fest, where it's like all
Okay, so
and I disagree, and I disagree with Joe in the fact that to me this did feel like the Batman the Animated Series in live action. I think
Batman the Animated Series was full of laughs.
Yeah, and I think it was heightened. I
was joking.
I think it's a little more violent than what that series did, but to me, I felt like that world still.
Here's my point because I take notes while I'm coming up with the show. Has Marvel conditioned us to make comic book movies that are soft and for children? I mean, and when I say conditioned, I know everyone's going to say, dude, what about Infinity War? What about Endgame? I would say they're the exceptions, not the rule. Where the stakes, the villains, the drama is always downplayed, so it doesn't feel too serious. When I read The Dark Knight Returns, or, one of my favorite Batman graphic novels is not even one of the famous ones. Have you read Venom? Where Batman gets addicted to steroids because he failed to save a little girl. He tries to move this boulder. This girl's trapped and she's drowning, and Batman fails to save her. and he has nightmares. So suddenly he starts taking steroids to make himself stronger, but the steroids mess with his head. And it's from the 80s. I think I don't know who wrote it. Greg Rucka or Alan. It wasn't Alan Moore.
So it's kind of like Demon in a Bottle from Marvel, but just a little different in regards to.
Oh, by the way, Marvel Comics has serious stuff. That's how you know the MCU fans haven't read the comics, because Marvel Comics has. But like,
oh, hold on. I'm gonna pause this right here. I love you, Joe. You know I love you. But if you're telling me that the Marvel movies aren't for children, you're lying to yourself. Dude, they advertise that the Marvel is a family-friendly experience.
Yeah.
It is an experience that you go. I don't care what PG-13. First of all, Joe, let's be realists. How many parents out there are looking at the Marvel movies and going, "Oh, it's PG-13. I'm not going to take my 10-year-old."
Yeah.
Almost none of them.
I mean, the perfect example, the Ant-Man franchise. The Ant-Man franchise is meant to be a family superhero series.
And that should be. I'm fine with Ant-Man being. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's meant for families. It's meant for kids.
I don't even think that Marvel would make a movie like X-Men 2, which is,
exactly. You have Wolverine running through a hallway, slashing people. You have the sex scene between him and Mystique. You have exactly. Marvel would never, and as far as right now, they're not going there. That I would say the X-Men movie is not for kids, probably not for your 10-year-old.
There's a great scene. One of my favorite moments in the first X-Men is Wolverine's in the Statue of Liberty, and Jean Grey comes up to him.
Okay,
he's like, "She's still around here somewhere." So now
that's one movie.
And he just stabs her. He's like,
but now we have to talk about the definition, right, of kids, right? Because now I know you have a younger daughter, so I obviously, yeah, you're not going to have someone, kid that's between 1 and 8 maybe watching Iron Man, right? But after that, it's meant for to
be fair, when Iron Man was made, it wasn't
under Disney.
It was made by Disney.
Also, I should clarify, I was 8 years old when I saw the first Iron Man movie in theaters, and I was a kid. So technically, I was a kid watching that movie, and I was a kid watching most. I was a kid watching Thor movies. Yeah,
and I don't think X-Men. Poindexter says, says. I don't think X-Men movies go that far or anything, but I feel like Marvel will be like, "Oh no, we can't show Wolverine." There's a scene in X-Men 2 where like you said, he slashes through a bunch of soldiers, and he's like, "You want to kill me? Kill me!" Like they're not going to put that. And again, that's PG-13. It's not like an R-rated, evil, violent movie.
Oh look, Enoch is here.
He's like, Joe did it.
He's going to accidentally in the street now.
Joe did it. You brought the man out. You see what you've done now.
Oh, okay, Enoch, go ahead. What do you got to say?
God.
So here's the thing. Marvel movies are absolutely made for kids.
Well, they're made for families, made for everybody. That's
family experience. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Marvel movies are made for everyone. It is a family-going experience. They are very family-friendly. They are absolutely made. I don't care if they say PG-13 on them. The PG-13 is there because there's some explosions and there's some stuff that might scare. There's some scary imagery that if
for like a 5-year-old.
Honestly, as the only person, I don't know. I don't think anybody else on this panel has any kids. I got 3. Let's be honest. We have 2 sets of people in our world today, it seems like. We have people who absolutely shelter their kids from every possible scary thing that might like rear its ugly head and scare them. Or we have the people who literally take their 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old to go see Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I will just say this. If my kids had been little, I wouldn't have taken them to see Deadpool. Mm-hmm. My kids were all they were early teens. I took all my Deadpool. My son Landon became a big, huge horror movie buff when he was literally 13 years old.
Right.
So he watched all the Chucky movies. He watched all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. He watched all the movies, whatever. And I was with him, and most of it was the TV versions. But listen, when it comes to Marvel, if we're gonna say that Marvel is not made for kids, then I don't know what's made for kids, because they're almost walking cartoons. They're almost like just
Oh, did we lose Enosh?
Uh-oh.
By the way, anyone wondering, Enosh has moved to England, which is why he's driving on the other side of the road.
The DC
Okay.
films.
Enosh, we lost it. No, wait, is he
I'm
back?
not driving. My wife's driving.
No, I know. I was teasing.
There you go. That freeze frame right there. Go full screen on that. Look at that.
On this,
Bro.
and look. I'm pulling up. Oh my gosh, I'm pulling up comments and everything, and oh my god.
Oh,
Hi,
Hi,
man.
Tiffany.
So no, listen. Look, everybody's got their own kids to raise, and they got their own things to do, and I respect that. But it's like all my kids saw X-Men. All my kids saw all those things. My kids went to go see Jurassic World, and the first thing they did was come home and say, "Hey, can I watch Jaws?" I went, "Yeah." And you know what? They laughed at Jaws.
Yeah.
And at that point, literally, Landon was scared to death of his bedroom when we bought our house. He was scared. He was scared to be in the dark. And you know what? It actually took him watching he watched It. He watched the movie It, and that cured him of being scared of the dark. A scary movie cured him of that.
Yeah.
We watched stuff like the show Face Off, where they showed how movie magic is made, how they show how makeup and how these characters are brought to life. And my son was like, "Oh, so these monsters aren't real; these are actors." Big. And so everybody has their own choices to make. But look, yeah, Marvel movies are. I don't think I've seen anything in a Marvel movie. Now they're starting to look. I mean, this Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has some stuff that they say borders on horror.
Mm-hmm.
That it actually has horror.
Well, look at Moon Knight, for example.
There, but they're not there now.
Yeah, I mean, they have Moon Knight coming out, and they're promising Moon Knight will be pretty push the envelope for what they can do.
But
So.
no, I agree. You know, it's like as far as the MCU goes, there's not one movie I can think of that I wouldn't show a 10-year-old or even an 8-year-old can handle. You know, I don't see. So I don't know. Like that whole idea that they're not for kids. I mean, I don't.
grew up in the '80s too. I grew up in the '80s, man, where we literally watched RoboCop and thought
Right. Right, and that was rated R when that came out.
RoboCop and you know Evil Dead and you know all that stuff, man. And it was like, you know, but hey, everybody's got some different. I do want to ask a question because we're going to see the Batman in a couple hours. I have one concern, and then I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys go because I don't like to just come in, you know, just willy nilly. But I do have a question because I hear a lot of people talking about like all the similarities between the Batman movie and all these other movies, right? And you know, and I see the resemblance myself. I see and you know, things in real life like the Zodiac Killer and stuff like that. But my concern is, like, outside of somebody having to actually ask the question, like, do you think that this is like your definitive Batman? Which I don't know if you saw my comment earlier. I liked RJ's comment about, well, this is probably the best solo Batman compared to that. But in all fairness, we never got to see Affleck.
No, that's true. That is true. That is true. Yeah.
Yet.
I would have loved to have seen how he would have worked in a solo capacity. Because I'll be honest with you, if there's anything that I love about Justice League, I like that beginning, not all of the parts of the beginning, but I like seeing Batman working alone in Gotham City like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Figuring it out.
That's going to be like one of the greatest mysteries of our generation. What would a Ben Affleck solo movie would have looked like? You know, it's one of those great injustices to our movie going world. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Because to me, and I know to a lot of other people, he is their favorite Batman, and it's just it's a travesty that he hasn't had his own solo film. But
yeah,
my question is this. My question is this. Tiffany's over here coughing Superman too. So I just had the question. I hear a lot of talk about comparing it to all these other things. But is it a Batman movie?
Yes.
Because I'll be honest, you know, I'm just asking the question because I have not heard anybody talk about it in the way, and I don't know if they're just trying to be so, you know, criticky that, you know, they're just like, oh, I gotta show off my movie preference or my movie prowess by, you know, talking about it. But I don't hear anybody talking about it in the sense of Batman. I hear people talking about it in the sense of these other films and this noir and this all these things. But as far as like Batman,
I think the reason you don't hear anybody saying it is because it's so apparently obvious. I mean, again, this is not a spoiler or anything, but Batman/Bruce Wayne is in every single scene of this movie.
Yep. He is there from the opening to the very end. I mean,
Um,
and I said earlier, Enosh, you'll know when you hit the first 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes feel like a Batman comic book opening page brought to life.
Yeah.
Like, in so many regards, this feels like a Batman comic book at its very core.
Can I ask you a question to bounce off
Black
that?
Label, maybe, but still, like, it feels the most Batman comic booky stuff we've gotten this far.
Anytime there's been a Batman movie where you had a phenomenal villain, whether it was the Tim Burton films or the Chris Nolan films, Batman always gets overshadowed. So, Austin, RJ, you guys have seen it. Does Paul Dano overshadow the Batman to the point where even though he's in the movie a lot, like you kind of ignore his performance, I want to say?
No, not to no.
This is one of those rare exceptions to where it does not feel like Batman is overshadowed by his villains, which I was very happy about.
Okay.
But you do have, I mean, again, you have a performance from Paul Dano. And maybe it's going to be split because Bradley saw it as well, and he wasn't as big of a fan as the performance.
There's one scene that maybe might turn some people off with them. I know in my audience there's a couple people snickering at it, but like I liked it. It's very over the top, but it's very Riddler. But like,
yes,
to me, no, he did not overshadow Batman. Like, Batman is the star of this movie, and I love that because that's been a common complaint even from actors like Michael Keaton, who's like, I love being Batman, but I feel like I got overshadowed by my villains. Christian Bale, great Batman, but he kept getting overshadowed by his villains, especially Joker in The Dark Knight. This did not feel like that. This felt like he is your main piece of this film. It did not feel like he was overshadowed. He felt like he is the driving force behind this movie constantly. Everyone else is just added accessories to his story, which was a breath of fresh air. Because again, repeatedly in these Batman movies, the villains have always outshined the hero.
There is something this movie does that is definitively Batman in the comics. That is very consistent in almost all the comics, and that this movie doesn't. It gets away with it. I've always thought it would be hard to do this in a movie and to have them kind of tell the story this way, but they do it, and they do it so well. And I don't want to give it away because you're going to see it in a couple hours. But
Enosh, you haven't seen it?
I'm glad to hear that because, like I said, that's been one of the issues. Like, I've been actually really concerned because everything about it looks great. Like, even the things that initially I had issues with, like famously, like the Batmobile and stuff like that, have won me over. And I'm like, now I'm just ready to see it. I'm kind of done talking about it anymore. I mean, it's been delayed to hell and back, and you know, it's like I'm just kind of done with the hype of it. Like, I'm honestly not overhyped about it. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, I'm so giddy, I just got to see it. I just want to just like get it over with now, see it, because I just feel like I should have already seen this film, and so now I just want to go watch it, enjoy it. But I'll be honest with you, I have a huge concern looming in the back of my head as to whether or not I'm going to like it, because
so that I've been there too.
I'll be honest with you, and maybe it's just going back to my old kind of reserve thing nowadays, where like normally if everybody else likes something, I find that I don't like it. And if I like something, I find that people don't like it. That's why actually there's stuff that my son apparently is waiting to see how I'm going to respond to in it. Yeah. Yeah, and so I love Austin how you put it. Like, I love that because I know that you were excited for this film.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the groundedness at which you come at this, because just listening to you earlier talk about how, you know, hey, here's the good points, here's the good points, here's what didn't work for me, you know.
And I'll be honest, I think I might have gone into this a little overhyped.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'll be honest, I think I might have gone into it a little overhyped and you know, left that it didn't meet all the expectations, but it was close. It was close.
No, and like for me, like
I'm having a hard time hearing you guys, but I think it's just because I gotta turn this phone in. This phone sucks. But I'll just say this and then I gotta go. But the thing is, we live in a weird world when it comes to critics, even just online YouTubers like us and stuff, who talk about this stuff, right? Where it's like people either absolutely hate it, right? And it's like, and if they hate it, it's all hyperbole. Everything is hyperbolic. Everything is I hated it and it's total trash, total garbage. It's awful. Or it's, oh my God, it's the most amazing movie ever. It's going to change the way that we look at everything. And, and I think that and no, Anthony can laugh at me all he wants, but I think that in a lot of ways, Marvel movies kind of set us up for this because so many people like go into these Marvel movies, to their credit, man, they've become such an event where it's like if you say anything negative about a Marvel movie, you're almost looked at like everybody's coming after you. So everybody's just kind of, for the last few years, it's just like a Marvel movie comes out and they're just like, yeah, it's great, it's awesome, I can't wait to see the next one, right?
Yeah.
And so and unfortunately with DC, there's been a lot of the opposite. Now I got to ask you one question before I leave. Did you guys see the meme about this, where it's like, do you guys think that this is the best is this the best DC movie since The Dark Knight?
That meme is so overblown, it's hard to even compare. I'm so over that. Like, I already had looked at it from that vernacular of, oh, let me compare it to The Dark Knight. It's like whatever. No, but like, just real quick though, I just want to say, there are some things I think could have been done better in this movie. Like I said, I think the pacing maybe could have been a little stronger. My only thing is though, I'm not sure what you cut though. Like, that's my only thing. I'm not sure what you cut.
I'm telling you, dude, the cinematography, it's beautiful.
But even then, I didn't feel like it was like dragging itself too long. I didn't feel like it was being like self-indulgent. But
there's a scene where somebody gets in a cab and you have the shot just staying there. The person comes out, waits for the cab, calls the cab, gets in the cab, and the whole shot. You're talking like a whole.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean,
that's old school filmmaking. Hold on, like I haven't seen the movie, but that's old. Like nowadays, everything is so quick cut to like the action.
Hey,
they get rid of the beginning and the end of a scene, and they just cut to like, oh, person gets in a cab. And I don't miss that kind of like slow, like call the cab, get in.
Don't take it as I'm saying that is. I love that style too, but when your entire movie is that way. That's where maybe a little too far on that artistic choice. That's just all.
Because I am curious to see it.
In slow motion, I love it. Maybe a little too far.
I mean, that's my only thing. I think maybe because you could feel the length at least towards like the last 40 minutes of the movie. But even then, I thought the third act was really gripping, where I wasn't checking my phone at any point. I mean, that's really my only complaint. I mean, I think again you could have paced some things a little bit better, but even then, I understood what they were going for. So it's more a thing of there wasn't something in this movie that was a glaring flaw. I mean, I'm trying to think of something that I could pinpoint, but it's really just a pacing.
Well,
thing,
again,
honestly.
That kind of goes back to my point about Marvel. Has Marvel conditioned us to that when we do have scenes that are slower or movies that take their time? Like I've been wanting the old Lawrence of Arabia style films to come back ever since the Snyder Cut. Like I want movies to breathe sometimes, because I feel like sometimes comic book movies are just action sequence. And the scene you described me, Austin. I know you said just the whole movie. I still haven't seen it yet, but I kind of missed that kind of take your time with the plot. Because William was on Tuesday and he said, "Oh, if you take out the Joker, The Dark Knight, it's a mediocre movie." And I thought about that. I'm like, I disagree. I think there's so much more going on in that movie.
I disagree with that as well. I don't think it's mediocre.
But I didn't want to argue with him. I was thinking about it. Let me think about what he said and let me absorb it, and maybe he might be right. But I think sometimes that we're so used to the fast cut action that when a movie takes us, when people tell me oh, Civil War is boring except for the airport scene, I'm like, dude, there is some great writing in Civil War. Aside from
I'll never understand that take either.
But for the end.
Yeah, but I mean, my favorite scene in Civil War is Tony and Steve arguing at the the Berlin United Nations, where they're talking about, he brings out the FDR pen and everything. To me, that's a great written scene. I think it's one of the best scenes in the movie. But people are like, "Oh, airport scene." I will say this: the airport scene is great, but there's more happening in the movie. And after a movie like Infinity War, Civil War all of a sudden seems like, oh, there's too much talking. There's too much, dialogue. When's stuff going to blow up? And that's what I'm saying, where I see some of the haters of the Batman, again, I haven't seen it yet, are complaining that like, oh, it's not as funny as I thought it would be. It's too dark.
Yeah, I mean
The
that's
villain
like
is
a
too
weird.
scary,
I mean, listen,
you know?
all film is subjective, but it is interesting how some of the complaints from like professional critics and some people are like the movie wasn't funny enough. There wasn't enough like levity. There wasn't enough like happy moments. It was too dreary. I'm like, it's Batman. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
Complains that he didn't smile.
Well, go watch Joss Whedon's Justice League when Batman smiles when Superman arrives. He's like,
it's like, it's like all awkward.
I honestly feel, okay, listen, this is why I hate the Oscars. This is why I hate everything to do with film awards. This is why I don't watch them. This is why I don't care. Like, this is why I don't get into like as much as I love films and I love having made short films and understanding how movies go together and stuff like that. But I don't get into a lot of the people who make films and stuff like that because a lot of them are just so high up on their own fart gas that that they don't have any understanding of this. So if you're a critic and you're going to critique a comic book movie, for example, right? First of all, you have to understand the genre. Unfortunately, these people who are critiquing these movies, these people whose job it is to critique these films, and listen, let's be honest, comic book movies have gotten to a point now where it's a genre to itself, and it's not like back in the day where it's like, oh my gosh, Superman came out, and then there's nothing else that came out. And then, then Supergirl came out in 84, right? And then Superman came out in 87, Superman 4, and then 89 came Batman. Like, we never got these superhero films. And like, now we get superhero films. Most of the big hit films are superhero films, right? Mm-hmm. So to dismiss the source material is a huge mistake. If I see movie critics, they'll go to a movie based on a book, right? And they'll compare the movie to the book, right? Yeah. And they'll talk about the differences and they'll talk about those things. Now, do I expect every movie critic to be up on all the comics? No. But when I see somebody talking about superheroes like they should all be the same way that they were back in the 1950s, you know what it tells me? Those critics don't understand the genre. Yeah. They don't understand what's new about the genre. That'd be like going to see a movie based on a book that was written in like the 90s or the early 2000s and complaining because it's not in like the King's English.
Yeah. Exactly. I made a point like this similar. I remember going back to 97. I was a little boy. I was watching the entertainment channel, E! News, and they were covering Batman and Robin. I saw it happen with Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. Anytime you had mainstream media cover the movies, whether it's Today's Show, Good Morning America, they would always do this. Pow! Kazam! Bam! A new Batman movie is here. And I'm like, what is that? They're talking about the 60s show. That is not who Batman has been, because the mainstream thought is that Batman was always the 60s show until Tim Burton made it dark, and that's the new normal. And to this day, even I haven't checked the press releases for the new Batman, but I'm sure someone's like, oh, bam, kazow, pow, Batman's back, Batman. And I'm like, yeah, they don't know the history of the character, or they don't know that this character has always been serious. And the one time it wasn't serious is because of government intervention, because the comic code was created and the U.S. Congress was having trials about comic books, making kids, I don't know, like turn into violent, thugs or whatever. And that was something that happened in the 50s. And honestly, give props to Marvel when they were like, you know what, we're going to make an issue of Spider-Man that's not going to be approved by the comic code, and we're just going to sell it. But the 1960s, 50s Batman, which everyone tends to think is the OG Batman, was the result of censorship from the government, pressure from the government and parents. Not my parents, but other people's parents.
I think it was RJ's parents.
Yeah.
No,
But,
no.
Probably Joe's parents.
I saw like Kick-Ass in theaters, and I was like 10, 11. So my parents raised me very well. My dad especially. Thank you.
Well, like with my parents, like my parents are old school. If we went to an R-rated movie and there was like a dirty scene, I had to cover my eyes. Like I remember I was a little kid. We saw True Lies because I was a big Schwarzenegger fan, and Jamie Lee Curtis does that famous striptease. I had to turn my head into the couch, and the seat of my thing, and then turn back around when it was over, like that. Like Deadpool, the only thing I wouldn't show it to a kid is because there are some sex scenes in it and you show him Deadpool, touching himself. Deadpool 2, actually, believe it or not, in terms of like graphic sexual imagery, has almost none. It's actually a pretty clean. That's a movie you probably could show to a kid, not a kid, but that was my thing. Like, I don't know if you guys ever had to do that. I know you grew up religious. You have to cover your eyes like during the Titanic scene, or
No,
they let you watch it or fast forward. That was a thing.
So it's kind of funny because my grandmother was never my grandmother was never like that way. Like she was more concerned, honestly, with like language and
Okay.
and other stuff than she was like stuff like that. And honestly, like I never watched a film that I can remember that like had really like nudity in it with my grandmother. But I will say this, I gave up like eventually. No, with my kids, here's a funny story talking about that. So I love the movie Coming to America.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When I got my first DVD player, the first 2 DVDs that I bought were Tron, the anniversary edition, right? And Coming to America. I, for some reason, never opened Coming to America. And I realized after a while, like, I had never, well, I not say never. It had been over 20 years since I had seen the actual non-television version of Coming to America.
Oh, yeah.
One night, me and the family, we sit down, we're eating dinner, we're on the couch, we're watching TV together, and Coming to America comes on like TBS or something like that, right? And prime time, it's like 8 o'clock though, or something like that. And my kids had to go to bed at like 9:30 at the time, right? And I looked at Tiffany and I said, "Oh my gosh, it's Coming to America. We should watch Coming to America." And I was telling the boys, and it was just starting. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this movie is so funny." And I said, "You know what the funny thing is?" I said, "I've got the DVD to this." I said, "So you know what we'll do?" Because on TV with commercials and stuff, it was going to be like a 3-hour movie almost. I mean, it was like 2.5 hours. Kids weren't going to be able to watch it. So I said to the boys, I said to the whole family, I said, "Here, let's do this. We'll watch to the first commercial. Then we'll pull out the DVD and I'll finally open the DVD. We'll pop it in and we'll actually watch the movie so it'll go by faster and it'll be done by the time you guys got to go to bed." They're like, "Okay, yeah." So get to the first commercial, pop it out, pop it in, fast forward. I sit down. I got a plate of spaghetti. Tiffany's got a plate of spaghetti. I didn't know where the remote control was, nothing. All of a sudden, dude, I sit down and girls are popping up out of the bath scenes with like topless and all this stuff. And I'm like, turn around, kids. And I'm trying to find the remote and I can't find the remote and I can't put down my food. And I'm just like, I got nothing but my food down. And I was just like, I give up. I have failed.
I had a similar experience with RoboCop. In the early 90s, it was always on like the local TV stations. I loved RoboCop. Great movie. And then I was around like 10 years old. They had the RoboCop trilogy on VHS for $30 at Kmart. So I'm like, "Oh, Dad, can you buy this for me?" He's like, "Okay, whatever." He bought the RoboCop. And then I watched RoboCop uncensored for the first time. Like, oh my God, this movie's gory as you see his hand get blown up. You see his arm fly off. It's like all these blood squibs. And I remember being kind of like feeling nauseated, like at the amount of blood, because all my life I'd watch it on like, local channels when it was edited. And I thought it was just a fun. And I was like, oh my God, this movie's gory AF. This is like 97, 98, when movies were still kind of tame in their violence compared to today. But that movie, I felt sick when you see all the blood squibs, and I was like, and I had trouble watching that movie for the longest time. It was too gross. You have a guy with like who's hit by toxic waste and he gets hit by a car and he literally explodes like a balloon. It's like, oh,
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy stuff, man.
Hey,
I didn't know Police Academy was vulgar until I saw Police Academy on TV. Comes off as like an 80s sitcom. And then when you bought the first Police Academy movie and you watch it, you're like, oh my Lord, this has nudity. And my mom starts yelling at me, like, she takes her shoe off, like, what are you watching? Why are you watching this? And like starts like chasing me.
Chasing Jack with a shoe.
Yeah.
I love you. I got to go in here. I got to meet some people. But hey, tonight, obviously, I'll be talking about the Batman, giving my
I hope you like it. I genuinely
Yeah,
hope you
man,
like it.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what you think.
I am definitely I'm definitely forward to seeing it. I've definitely, like I said, I'm just not overhyped for it. It's just not like
Just go in with like expectations set at like not low, but just tempered.
I just want to see a good
Yeah.
Batman, right? I want to see a good Batman movie that I don't know why, but I get the I kind of get the mood from this film like it's going to be preachy to me, and I don't know why that is.
You know what? I have.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was preachy at all.
Like
I
it's gonna be like
I have been hyped for this movie since Tuesday.
What's
Like,
that?
even though I want to see it, but like it was really after talking to William. I'm not gonna lie, like I want to see it. I think it'll be very good, but I haven't had that like feeling like I did before Infinity War or Endgame or even The Dark Knight. I didn't sleep that week when The Dark Knight was coming out. I don't know why, and part of the reason is, and I know I'm wrong, is that I just when I see Robert Pattinson as Batman, and I know he's gonna kill it. And I know I'm wrong, but like from the trailers, he looks like. I don't know. He doesn't look like Batman, and I know I might be wrong.
She's waiting for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, good. I'm glad. I just don't. That's my like. I don't have anything to base that on. That I feel like it's going to be preachy. It just feels like it's going to be really heavy and just really like. Yes, I won't end the stream. I promise. All right. I just got to figure out how to get out of here without ending the stream.
Yeah, don't inadvertently let it run the whole
In the
time.
middle of my screen, it says end, and I'm just like, yeah, I get out of here. There we go. So, all right, guys. Love y'all.
Right. God bless.
Good seeing y'all. Peace out. Bye-bye.
So let's say I'm watching this movie. How far into it will I be sold that he's back? I hate to say this. And I said this on Pop Culture Corner, but when he said "I'm Vengeance," it kind of reminded me of Ty. Like, nothing against Ty, but like if Ty was playing Batman, he sounded like him, like, "I'm Vengeance." And I was like, ooh, they should stick with the mechanical voice from what I liked about the Ben Affleck Batman is he used a robotic voice, like, "Do you bleed?" I like that, you know.
Right.
But when I heard him say,
I thought he's Batman. I didn't have any issue with him as like I thought he is very, very much Batman. And you get that sense from the beginning of the movie.
I'm guessing his Bruce Wayne isn't a womanizer in this movie. Like they did that with Bale, they did that with Affleck.
No, not yet. No, this feels like a Batman who hasn't really crafted his Bruce Wayne persona yet, very much. So.
All right, I got to use the boys' room. Austin, leave.
It's just up to me now.
No, I'm here.
Okay, I got to use the boys' room real quick. So if you guys want to chat real quick, I have a question for you. Who is the best portrayal, according to you, of just Bruce Wayne?
Just Bruce Wayne. Wow.
Just Bruce Wayne.
I do. I mean, look, second behind this, I think Ben Affleck kills it as Batman and as Bruce Wayne.
I'm very impartial. Even though his movie isn't the best Batman movie, I actually did quite enjoy Val Kilmer's turn as Bruce Wayne.
I did as well.
Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne, I thought did a very good job, actually.
I did as well. I thought it was. I wish they would have let him, do more with it because I know he wanted to do more with the Bruce Wayne aspect and all of that.
And Ben Affleck, and I thought Ben Affleck did a great job as Bruce Wayne as well. Those two, I think, they're Bruce Wayne especially still.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I think for me it goes to Ben as far as the best Bruce because that like even that scene, his interaction with Lex and his interaction with Clark as Bruce and all that stuff was just very, very Bruce Wayne to me,
So, do you both say Pattinson?
No, I said Affleck.
I said Affleck and Val Kilmer.
Okay, Val Kilmer, I've kind of softened on his Bruce Wayne. Guess who my favorite Bruce Wayne is? I don't even know what the hell his name is, but the kid from Gotham, seasons 2, 3, and 4.
Oh my god!
Oh, that kid,
I love his Bruce Wayne. Not the first season when he's kind of when he screams like a girl, like ah. No, I'm talking about like when he kind of one of the best Bruce Wayne scenes is in Gotham, season 2 or 3, where he finally meets the man who might have killed his parents, and that conversation, I'm like, why can't they have scenes like this in the movie? He got so good. Again, he's not Batman yet, but just as Bruce Wayne, I thought that kid was. I was like, I want to see that kid grown up in like 10 years. You know,
I'm over the Young origin crap. Get over it. We
no,
know.
I'm not talking about. I'm just saying this is a Bruce Wayne because they were trying to get him to be Batman pretty quick.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be happy if I never see Kid Bruce Wayne again.
Okay, all right. I'm not saying you have to go watch it, but I'm just saying, you know, I
No,
really kind of appreciated that performance. I thought the kid gave a pretty good performance.
No.
Titanic 3, according to RJ, is being made for Tubi.
Yeah, it's a Titanic 666.
Yeah. This is
Dear God.
Jack didn't wash his hands. I did wash my hands, baby. David Mazouz. Yeah, I don't know how to say his name. Apparently, he's Middle Eastern. He's white and Middle Eastern. David Mazouz.
Might be masseuse.
I always liked the figurative Bruce Wayne that Michael Keaton did in the movies, but he wasn't the definitive Bruce Wayne. I appreciated sort of like how they did the Playboy Bruce Wayne with Bale. But at least with Affleck, they flat out said, "Oh no, he's a playboy." There's a scene where he wakes up, he has one of his nightmares, and there's like a chick next to him, and they're like, "We're not going to tell you who that is. This is a chick because that's Bruce Wayne. He gets tail." So, Jalen made Jack didn't wash my hands, dude. If I don't wash my hands in my house, I get in trouble. Okay, so yeah. Listen, any last thoughts? Because we're going to move on to Kanye West.
Yes.
Ooh,
Kanye. I got that.
Kanye.
Yeah, it is interesting. Before any of you are like, "Oh, I don't listen to Kanye," you're gonna want to hear what he did. Any last thoughts on the Batman?
It's good. Go see it.
Go see it. Definitely.
Go see it and make up your own mind about it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
My big worry is that I might like because Enosh reseeded the thought. I'm like, what if I like watching and I don't love it? And I'm like, I don't know. I hope that's not the case because I want to like this movie a lot, but we'll see. All right, folks. Up next, Kanye West.
And
so
yes,
real
ladies and gentlemen, it has just been announced Kanye has been cast as Batman in the new Batman.
Is that Catwoman?
Directed Kanye. No, Kanye will be directing a new franchise of Batman, starring and directed by himself as the Batman. So yes, Jalen, that is correct.
So for those of you who don't know, about 3 weeks ago when I bought the song, he released a song called Easy, and it's got a bit of the song. I don't know if you guys ever heard the song Easy Does It by Eazy-E, like he was once a thug from around the way. Easy. Anyway, the song came out a couple weeks ago by The Game featuring Kanye West. In the song, he talks about how he's going to find Pete Davidson and whip his ass, right? For those of you wondering, that is what Pete Davidson looked like, and that is Pete Davidson's current girlfriend. Okay, so he released a video. I know, Austin, you're not a fan of David Lynch, but it very much reminds me of Eraserhead. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Eraserhead and like the weird imagery in that. So these two shots are Eraserhead, and then this is the music video for Kanye West. He ties up Pete Davidson and then buries him alive in the sand using claymation. And then, of course, you show Easy with the game. There's Easy with the Compton hat. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Not Easy. Kanye seems to be taking – he's dated a lot of beautiful women, don't get me wrong, but taking this breakup, I think, as an affront to his manhood because his girl got taken by a guy that looks like he's in the drug-addicted part of Kensington of Philadelphia, and you see guys dressed like that, kind of shaken from heroin overuse. And I think it genuinely bothers him that so publicly he lost arguably one of the most attractive women in the world to a guy who's way younger and would seemingly be out of her league, maybe. Did you guys see the music video? Because I thought the music video was interesting.
I've seen the music video. Look, for those of you that don't know, Jack, you know, because I've talked about it. I'm a big Kanye fan. I love Kanye. This was bad. This is bad. This is really bad. I like
the song. I like the song a lot.
That's the thing. I've gotten the opportunity to listen to Donda too. Mm-hmm. It's trash. Really?
I haven't heard it yet.
It is. I say this with pure confidence. It is the worst thing Kanye has ever put together musically.
Really?
It is. It is not. It's incredibly. I mean, and to say that if you know Kanye, like he's a musical genius. Say what you will about him personally, say what you will. This guy is the Mozart of our era musically. Kanye, there is no other producer out there like him. However, he did this whole thing, right? He revealed that he had bipolar, he's got mental issues and all this. He's had several public breakdowns. And it just feels like it's gotten to a point where, look, I have a lot of mental health issues too. I have bipolar too. I have, there gets to a point where it's like, okay, because he's a celebrity, he's getting away with far too much.
Yeah.
This whole thing of, going to your Instagram and telling your followers, if you see Pete Davidson in the street, kick his ass. If the whole thing with the video, the whole thing with Kim and making it all so public, putting her texts out there about the kids and doing all that. This has just gone way too far. I don't think this is about him being jealous of a thing. I think he's having a severe mental public breakdown.
Do you think so? Like kind of Britney, like in 2007?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And nobody, for some god unknown reason, is helping him.
Well, it's interesting because like I grew up with rap, and like the idea of doing like what they call diss tracks or hit pieces is nothing new. One of my favorite Tupac songs, and I kind of see a little bit of Tupac in Kanye, was called "Hit 'Em Up," where Tupac brags about banging Biggie Smalls' wife to the point where he has lookalikes in the music video, and he's just bragging about it. It's nothing new to attack someone, but it's interesting because Kanye had said it maybe 2 years ago, pre-COVID, that he was done with like rap music in general. Like he was going to just only focus on gospel. But in this song, he swears, he cusses, And whoa, is she single? Is that true? Did that happen?
Yeah, she's officially single by the courts as of today.
Oh, the divorce happened.
And she can change her name back from Kardashian West to just Kardashian.
I thought they meant single as in like she broke up with Pete Davidson. I thought that's what he meant by single,
Right.
But anyway. But yeah, it's a shame because I've been listening to the song for about a year, and it's one line like "kick Pete Davidson's ass," and I'm like, all right, whatever. It's a diss track, whatever. The song is kind of nice, and it's got a nice, kind of tribute to Eazy-E and that sort of like era of, when he went solo from NWA. But it's a shame because he is a genius, and when I say that, people are like, "Oh, that means you endorse everything he's ever said." Or no. You can appreciate that. Yeah, he's a huge ego, and that's part of the reason people like him. He's like the Tony Montana of rappers, like I built this thing together. Me, that's who, like that kind of thing, But it was a weird video, and I don't know if that means he's coming back to rap full time because his gospel album I really liked. What was it called? Jesus is King.
Well, Donda was very much a rap hip hop.
Oh, okay. So I didn't hear that.
He's pulling a usual Kanye, right?
All links are in the description below.
Of course, man.
But that's very interesting because I thought it was just very. First of all, the claymation is very. I've always found claymation kind of bothersome. There's something about it that seems weird. And that, he did the claymation. That's him. That's supposed to be Kanye driving Pete Davidson out to the desert or whatever the hell you want to call it.
And see, look, Jalen, I can too. I can separate the art from the artist. But when the art starts to become like this, no. Yeah. Like, I'm not a fan of that.
The art's becoming hateful and twisted to where it's about literally threatening violence against somebody.
And it's literally affected his music. I'm telling you, Donda 2 is not even good.
What's it called?
It's Donda 1 and Donda 2.
I did not hear that. When did it come out? It literally just came out like a couple weeks ago. Okay.
So Donda 2 or whatever, it's like you can hear it. Like he's angry. He's kind of all over the place. It is not. I'm surprised he allowed it to be released, knowing Kanye and how.
Yeah, but she's attractive. Like we can make big jokes about her, like being like full of stuff, but like whether you don't, I don't agree with the morality of her or her family and how popular they are in American culture or beyond. But like she's an attractive woman. Like there's no doubt. At least I think so. Austin, this is where you back me up and be like, yes, Jack, she's an attractive woman.
Nah. No, she's very attractive.
She's pretty. Like she's very good looking. You can't deny that. And I think he had arguably the most popular woman in the world by his side. Although, if you ask me, the most beautiful woman in the world is Gal Gadot. But yeah. So, are you guys ready to talk about Britney?
Sure.
Are we ready to talk about Britney? Because I feel like that's what everyone's been waiting for. They don't care about the Batman. They want to see Britney.
I think that's what you've been waiting for, Jack.
So, this is from page 6. She's on a getaway, and look, she's had a very good couple of months. Her conservatorship is done. She released photos. You can see them on season 1 of Jivin with Jack of herself in front of the mirror naked. Let me ask you about this. I've never done streaking. Austin, I think you probably have done streaking, right?
Several times.
Skinny dipping?
Several times.
Okay. There's something
I went
liberating.
streaking and skinny dipping at the same time because where the water was at was a public mall here in Las Vegas.
Oh dear.
Did you get arrested?
No, I made it to the car in time.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I would never do
right.
that. I'd get arrested, shot, killed. Probably.
No.
But,
Look. All they just see is my little brown ass run out into the water and then take a little dip and back into the car. And
I gotta make sure my door's closed for this conversation.
Downtown Summerlin, people, don't go there.
What's wrong with downtown Summerlin?
Well, no, it's fine, and I'll just you may see me naked. The problem with this album is it isn't going to be timeless. Like exactly, you won't be able to listen to this album exactly. Whereas even like the first Donda is really, really good. It's really good, and the second one is just like I said. He's just angry. It's all over the place. The music is even all over the place. So streaking the quad.
Yeah. Well, the point I was getting with that was that there is. I'm gonna speak a little quietly. The first time, like, I was ever naked with like a girl or whatever anyone's preference. Well, I'm just saying there is something liberating. Like the first time was kind of scary. No. I'm making a point here. There is something kind of liberating about like because most of the time you're growing up, like being naked is like, ooh, you don't want people to see you naked, and then you hit sexual maturity, and then you're in front of a girl. You're like, yeah, I'll show you everything. There's something liberating about it, and it seems to me that she's using nudity as a way to kind of express her liberation, and she knows she's being ogled. No, but it seems like she is. She's happy.
Jack is a nudist.
I'm not a nudist. I'm Catholic. I can't be a nudist.
He feels liberated, people, when he's naked.
No. What I'm saying is that there is this. Look, you're the one who's done streaking and skinny dipping. I have not. I've never had the body to do that. Like I've been constantly working on my body to get there. And
I've never had the body to do it either. I still did it. I don't know what you think I got washboard.
You guys, this is the problem. This is what happens when you talk Marvel fans. You're missing the abstract conversation I'm trying to have here. Is that like for her, she's doing it. She's free. She's popular, and I'm like, God bless her. She's doing it, and people are going to judge her. And I think she's at the point where she's like, you know what? I don't give an F. Yeah,
she did. No, you do you, boo. I think that's very much the attitude she has. I love it. I think that's the attitude you should have, Jack. If that's what you wanted, if you want to post naked pictures online, I think you should. I do. I don't.
Well,
think
look. If I can get like about 100 fans who want to see that, and I create an OnlyFans, and I can, pay the electric bill with that money, I'll do it. But like, she's out, she's liberated, and I'm like, good for you, babe. Dude, she went through a lot of crap.
She did.
2007 to like 2015, where people thought she was crazy. South Park did an episode, talking about it, and I'm just like, you know what? You're out, you're about, you're allowed, you're nude, do it. And I remember when she got made fun of because she had a little bit of fat in her belly, and she performed live. And the media and the fans just went after her like piranhas, attacking her. Like, oh, she's so fat. She's so fat. Toaster Jack Johnson. I don't know. I pay for that. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay for that.
Come on,
Who was that weird guy? Oh crap! I don't want to say his name out loud. The one who messaged you and me privately. Oh, you don't remember this? This is season 1.
Oh, yes.
You don't have to say his name, but that dude like was trying to step both of us.
I don't want to out him, but we've already had some people.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean by that? You're like, we've had some interesting. Oh, you exchanged photos, didn't you? You sick son of a
No!
bitch.
Oh dear God,
like,
no!
Oh, we had
my
an interesting conversation.
God,
Look how you looked at Bradley.
No, absolutely not. First of all, I would never put myself in that position where I would allow my nudes to be leaked. I would leak them myself. So let's get that.
You ever get worried about like? Let me ask you this. Oh, have you ever been worried like a girl or a guy you sent stuff to like one day? You know.
Well, I mean, I have backflashes from high school of what possibly is out there.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't that worry you?
A tad, like but not like what, like what.
That's
the
why
worst
you make
for me
sure
to worry
there's
about?
that self-identifying in them.
Like,
no, it's full mirror pics, dude. My face and all. I'm making the kissing faces. I'm like, we get the.
Well, in that case, you are screwed, Austin.
Yeah, like, what if we become rich and famous and some guy
that's what I'm saying. Like, if for some god unknown reason, Jivin with Jack takes off, and then like 5 years down the line, we're hosting the show, and I get a phone call that goes, "Yo, I have all your nudes from high school." Like, I at that point, I'll be honest with you, I'd probably just go ahead. And then I'll take some updated ones and release them myself and go, just so everybody know, I grew up.
That's what you have to do.
All right? You don't have to. You have to kind of approach it.
All of a sudden now, like, I'm having, like, it kind of reminds me, Chris Rock does this bit about when he took the AIDS test, and he thought about every girl he hooked up with and how all of a sudden he was like, yeah, Kasuga is very interested. Kasuga, you send me yours. Japanese girl, no. But I have been kind of thinking about it. I'm like, shit. Because, when you're younger, you're like, yeah, and I have their photos.
When you're younger, you're not, like I said, when I was in high school and stuff, you're not thinking, like, this is this will never haunt me.
And then you're like 25 years old, you got a nice office job, and your boss walks in the office and he shows you what he saw. I saw some on social media there, buddy. It's like, oh, what do you see? Shows you the picture. Oh, that's my dick.
I told you that in confidence, RJ.
That's my dick.
Really? You had to bring that up? I told you that in confidence.
I'm sorry. I had to use it as an example.
I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
Well,
that was, ladies and gentlemen, how I got fired from Pop Culture Corner.
That is, I can confirm that is the truth. That is absolutely true.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you don't think about it like as a high schooler or whatever. You just, and even then, like, you have the risk of, like, if you're in high school or whatever, because it happened to a few friends of mine, right? That is like their nudes leaked amongst the high school and amongst everybody instead of just the one person to send it to. So I mean, yeah, there's definitely. But speaking of all this nudity and risk and pictures.
Yeah, if you guys want to see more of the Britney photos, there you go. I'll put it up there. We'll leave it up here for the whole time.
Oh God.
You know what? No, if you guys want to see more, you have to give money. No.
Right, yeah. Join the membership.
Go to Instagram and see them for free, but welcome to the Poindexter Pantheon, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I do have a question for you, and a good little transition here. But speaking of all this nudity and photos and stuff, have you guys been watching or keeping up with Pam and Tommy?
No, I have not.
I haven't even started yet.
I got a little something on Pam and Tommy. I figure we can.
You got the video that everyone saw 35 years ago.
I do have it. We're gonna watch it live right here on Jivin with Jack. No, I'm kidding.
Instant monetization and channel.
Yeah, exactly. No,
dude, someone reports us this episode is gonna get demonetized, and Austin's gonna call me like, Jack, what did you do?
Right. No, look. So Pam and Tommy's been going on Hulu. It's been a series starring Sebastian Stan and Lily Collins and stuff, and it's obviously around the release of the sex tape and everything that happened.
That was the first one, the first big one.
Yeah. But it was just announced the other day, I think yesterday, that because here's the thing, Pamela Anderson has been completely quiet about this series, Pam and Tommy. Tommy Lee has said his piece on it and stuff, but it was announced Netflix will release a documentary featuring Pamela Anderson telling her side of the story. So I'm just kind of curious and stuff. If you guys, I know you guys haven't even seen it and stuff.
I
but-
mean, I was
that's
over it.
interesting. Yeah.
I was over it like when it first happened I mean, I was a kid when it happened, but when I eventually saw it years later on the internet, I was like, oh, so that's what the big deal was about. Like whatever, Pam hasn't been able to do with it what Kim Kardashian did with hers and build a whole career out of it. I mean, that's no props to her.
But Pam wasn't wanting to. That's the thing. Like the series kind of talks about is that
Yeah.
for her, even though this was the thing, right? Even though she posed for Playboy, even though she was on Baywatch and all of this.
Oh yeah.
Men and the way that people looked at that tape was like, oh, she was willing to do. She did this, all that, and it was a very private, personal thing for her, right? And that's the thing. Yeah,
I'm going to say something right now. Hold on. There's a difference between doing this and then having a personal tape leaked. That's incredibly intimate. She's doing that. I agree. I think it's sick that people will like pay for hack into someone's phones. It happened to a lot of people. Pam didn't want to get out of it. Get out.
And that's the thing. She was an aspiring actress, right? Who was already looked at as kind of just a pretty face, not necessarily an actress.
They viewed her. They didn't view her as her own person. They viewed her as a sex object.
Exactly, and so she was already fighting an uphill battle when that tape leaked and stuff, and so.
But she was pretty popular when that happened. She was on Baywatch. I mean, she was Barbed Wire to come out, but
right. It was all around. Exactly, it was all around that time. But all of that ended up for her. Every guy, like none of that. People would come up to her and be like, "Oh, I love the tape." They never said I love Baywatch.
Well, I mean that's the risk you're gonna have to. I mean, but I mean, I'm kind of curious.
And again, it was a robbery. Like the tape was.
It was a robbery. So why wasn't it shut down? It was distributed, mass marketed as private. And look, it happened to one of my favorite wrestlers, Paige. Her phone got hacked, and people attacked her for having multiple sex partners. I'm like, so what, dude?
It wasn't. It wasn't.
You're just jealous. It's not you.
It wasn't stopped because the law and the attorneys and the judges that had this case found that because Pam had already not completely exposed her body, but exposed enough of it via Playboy, via Baywatch, that basically she had this coming.
Yeah, very puritanical. I think that's sick.
Yeah,
I think that if a sex tape gets leaked, I mean, Hulk Hogan fought it. Props to him, man. He fought it and he destroyed Gawker. I'm like, Gawker's a piece of slime journalism. I'm glad that they got taken down, and he fought it tooth and nail, I think. But he also has the money to do that. He's an incredibly wealthy person. But her and Jenny McCarthy. Did you ever see the beginning of Scary Movie 3 with her and Jenny McCarthy?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's funny. And twins. But real quick, I want to talk about one more thing. I talked to William about it a little bit, and let's get to it. So this is more of a blue state issue because red states have done away with the mandates a very long time ago. But here in Philly, they just lifted the mandates yesterday. And I'm wondering if this will possibly affect in a positive way the turnout for the Batman, because from what I saw, a lot of people weren't even aware. I went to a Popeyes yesterday. I went to Wawa, which is like a convenience store, and they still had their mask mandates, and they didn't know that like the mandates have been lifted. But it seems, for all intents and purposes, for political purposes, the mandates are over. I don't know how it's been in Las Vegas. We're in Nevada.
It's been done over here for a while. I think we've been going out for the last week or so, 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I'm doing my birthday in about 2 weeks, and everyone's like, "Oh, city has a mandate that you have to show your vaccine cards." I'm telling you, every business I went to, no one enforced it. businesses were not going to turn away customers because they didn't have a card. And I honestly think this is political. Like the fact that they lifted them, I think it should have been lifted a long time ago. But there are a lot of people who are kind of used to it. They're just going to keep having their. I mean, they're allowed to, and they're encouraged to. But like, and Austin left. He left.
No, I'm here. I just said
Okay. But like, it seems like they have this new thing right now. Oh, if you're in a lower or medium, you can get rid of it. If you're in a high area, you got to keep it. They have this whole chart and everything, and this definitely affects pop culture. I was saying a year ago that us nerds have to go back and support the places like comic book stores, like the local arcade, if you still have them, because these places are, they're central to who we are, including going. Remember my Jack attack about going to the movies and doing all that. So, but it seems like that for now, it's over, for lack of a better way of saying it. And it's just funny because a lot of other states were at this point.
Is it really over though?
No, it's not. It's never going to be over. Like the way I look at it is nothing has changed since last year, since the vaccines were out. And some places were like, look, we're either going to have to live with it or we're going to have to just, keep locking down, keep doing mask mandates, vaccine mandates, et cetera, et cetera. And I think this is totally political. I think it had to do with poll numbers. And I don't want to get into that too much, but I do think that, look, The Batman is the first big movie to come out post mask mandates. I went to the movie theaters. People are supposed to wear them. People don't wear them. They'll put it on.
Nobody wears them. Nobody wears them.
And they take them off. And I mean, we knew a year ago that unless you're wearing a KN95, they're not really like the cloth masks, which is what I have, are not effective, but they still told you to wear them. Do you think this is over, or do you think this is just temporary until the next variant pops up next Christmas and we go back into lockdowns? Take it away, RJ.
I think we're pretty much over it at this point. I think it's pretty much, again, hospitalizations are still a thing, but at least now the hospital systems are completely overrun and it's like too overbearing to where they're being overloaded.
Yeah.
To me, I think it's a sign. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. We have bigger fish to fry now with the whole Ukraine-Russia situation anyway at this point. Whatever you think about that, but yeah,
I'm for it, man. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, at this
point, you were like, I don't know how Jack feels about that. I'm like, dude, I'm so for this war. No,
right? No, but yeah, I think it's a sign we're pretty much over the hill on this, over the hump. I think it's pretty much we're done with it at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Louis. This is the other topic I forgot about. So AMC is raising the prices of.
Yeah, they're introducing a flexible pricing system where basically they're going to be charging more for these premium blockbuster movies, which that makes sense to me.
I agree. I said this a year ago with what's his name is gone. Austin left.
What's his name?
Anytime things get a little bit hot, we talk about mask mandates. This episode is definitely getting me demonetized. But I guess what bothers me about it is that now they're admitting what people were trying to basically say about a year ago, that, look, it seems like it's here to stay. It's like the common cold or the flu. It's just here. We're going to have to learn to live with it. If you have issues, you should still mask up. I still tell my dad to mask up. When he goes out, he's going to mask up when he goes out to the movie tomorrow night because he's older. I'm not. But, it seems like to me this was very political. It seemed like the Omicron thing, honestly, we knew was not as dangerous as the previous variant. And the thing is, it's not really over, but I think for all intents and purposes, it is over. It kind of went out with a whimper. I think that moment where people said, I can't wait till this is over so I can celebrate, already happened. Either people already were I'm done with it.
There's no moment in the streets where we're going to rush out and be like, it's over, COVID's over. Let's
and
throw our masks up in the air like they're white flags.
Yeah. The PCR test change. Integrity, what is PCR? I don't know what that means. Pop culture resonant justice, maybe. I know that every doctor or nurse I talked to said most of the patients we get, unfortunately, are elderly people. There's other stuff going on here. And unfortunately, Austin's internet, this is what sucks. Where he lives, he doesn't get Xfinity or Fios. So if you have Xfinity or Fios, you're good to go. I don't know, RJ, what do you have?
I have AT&T fiber optics.
I didn't even know that was a thing because when you talk to, okay, all right, cool. I've always had either Comcast because Philly's the home of Comcast, or I've had what do you call it there? Fios, and Fios is pretty good, but like unfortunately, otherwise sorry, my chair broke and I'm trying to fix it live on air.
No, you're fine, man. It's okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just one of those things. Free Ukraine, F Putin. Yeah, I'm with you, buddy, but I don't know. I think I was talking to William on Tuesday, and I think this is going to be a very long road, not just for Ukraine, but for the rest of the world. I think this is going to unfortunately take a while. For better or worse, whether it means Russia wins and they take over Ukraine. And I think Belarus said they might be sending troops to help the Russians, which sucks because they share a border with Ukraine. But I don't know where this goes. Is this eventually lead to World War III? I hope not. But is it a possibility? Yeah. There's a possibility that if eventually this war spreads to Western Europe, we would get involved. I mean, we would have no choice but to get involved. If it spreads to Western Europe, they've stood by us in our wars, and we can't allow, Western Europe to fall.
You hope for the best, Russia. At least. You hope for the best and hope that rational minds will prevail, and hopefully things will de-escalate. I mean, it's all you can.
Because a lot of people are talking about the sanctions a lot, and I'm like, yeah, but it seems like China is going to be supporting the Russians. They're like, hey, we're on your side, baby. Whatever you need. So anything we cut to them economically, the Chinese can support with. And the reason this became a topic on this show was because on Tuesday, or rather it was Monday, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Netflix, they all said, we're going to pull our programming and we're not going to release these in Russia.
Turning Red and the Batman will not be in Russia. Pretty much all of Hollywood said, nope, no more Russia releases.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, that's brave. If you're really brave, ban it in China.
Yeah, well, they're not that brave. Let's be fair.
They're not that brave. That's RJ, can you vamp for about 2 minutes? I used a polymer metal to fix my chair. I got to wash it off my hand before it solidifies, and I have metal stuck to my hand. Can you do that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jivin with Jack, hosted by...
Welcome, everyone. I am now the host of Jivin with Jack. I have now taken over the show, and I am ruling over it with an iron fist. But no, it's a very tense situation. Obviously, it's interesting seeing Hollywood kind of like put their stamp and say, yeah, we're not releasing our movies here anymore. We don't want anything to do with this anymore. We're kind of just, doing our own thing. And again, it makes sense because, yeah, they got to do about what they got to do. And will it have much of an impact? I don't know. I mean, it could just be seen as more less like a logistical thing, but they got to do what they got to do for the betterment of themselves at this point, right? I mean, it's a tricky situation, and I don't I don't think this war's anytime 75% of the world population vote against the UN resolution. I mean, maybe, I don't know. All I can do is hope for the best at this point, because again, I don't want to see it continue to escalate. I mean, that's like the last thing any of us want, I think. So again, hope for the best, do what you can, and yeah, that's all we can hope for at this point. But I'm actually ordering pizza for dinner right now, which is cool. I hope everyone else is doing well out there. I'm all like, finally, I'm taking over the show. Right? Yeah.
So basically what happened was I got this cheap chair from China. It's great, but it fell apart and the handle broke off. So I bought this stuff, epoxy putty stick, and you got to have to mix it together. And I fixed the chair, but it just broke right now again. So while we're talking, I was like, if you saw me doing this, it's because I was like applying it to connect it. But like this stuff after 10 minutes turns into metal, and you don't want that on your hands. So I went to wash my hands, but so that's what I was talking about. Ibrahim says, I don't think this war is ending anytime soon. 50% of the world population voted against the UN revolution. Well, here's the thing. And this is what I'm going to say, that I think the UN has proven itself to be kind of useless, even during the Cold War, is that no country wants to get involved, which is fair because no one wants to expend resources or people. When people say, how could something like World War II happen? How could that, I can't say his name, but the guy with the mustache, leader of Germany, if I say his name, we're going to be demonetized, could invade Poland and keep going and no one said anything. Well, it kind of started like this. It starts like this. It always starts like this. Wars don't start with explosions. They start with small things like Abraham Lincoln getting elected and South Carolina seceding from the Union. It starts like that. It starts with raising taxes on, American colonies, and all of a sudden you have the American Revolution. It always starts with small incidents like that. CDC encourages laboratory. Think that through. I don't know how to think that through. Okay, sure, Jack. What do you say? I'm joking. Yes, that guy. I can't say his name because last time I did it, they demonetized us. That tells you where YouTube is. But the one thing I say about this, everyone's like, oh man, why would Putin do this? Wouldn't the Russian people be against it? You have to understand that the people in that part of the world don't think like Americans or like the West, like, oh, why would you invade someplace and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Putin's big thing is he wants to be remembered as like Catherine the Great, like some of the great Tsars of Russia who took land. And the Russian people, not all of them, kind of back that mentality because Russia is not as powerful as you think economically. They have the GDP of Florida. So for them, their last hanging fruit is we want to expand. We want to bring back the Soviet Empire where Russia had most of Europe and everyone, they look at Stalin as a positive person. Stalin who killed tens of millions of people, his own people. And that's a scary part of it. So we're like, oh, the Russians will get tired. The one thing I think we can do is make Ukraine into Afghanistan. So for those of you who don't know, the Russians invaded Afghanistan in the late 70s. They were there for 10 years. And all the U.S. did was supply the Afghans with munitions to kill Russians for 10 years. And eventually they pulled out. The problem is Russia now is firm friends with China. And if you want to take the Batman out of Russia, take the Batman out of China. They're not going to do that. Disney's not going to do that.
No, of course not.
If you want to be brave about it, do that.
I mean, listen, they could at best, they can make 40 to 50 million in Russia. They'd rather lose 40 to 50 million versus potential hundreds of millions in China.
Right. Well, that should tell you something though. This is literally it's a gesture. Today I gave $1 to a homeless man. And I pat myself on the back for doing that. Okay, wow, Jack, you gave $1 to a homeless man. You really solved the world's problems. To me, it seems more like a gesture. Chances are distributing to Russia is probably going to be a lot harder now with a war going on. So they're probably like, yeah, let's just cut our losses. But we do these opening skits, and we used to joke about how Jivin with Jack gets money from China, and we have to get rid of all the people of color on our show. Skits. By the way, do you guys watch these skits? Because I spent a lot of time filming them. I don't think anyone watches the opening skits for Jivin with Jack. RJ is like, I didn't even know there were any skits.
Skits are nice.
So this is the big one because we protect Taiwan, and Taiwan is a liberal, progressive democracy. It is a very open place. It is a wonderful place. The Taiwanese people are wonderful, and China has their eyes on them. And we have been protecting it for about 70 years. And if they were to go in, that would pull us in. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That would pull us in. And I hope China does not do anything that stupid. William was saying that, look, we buy most of stuff from China. All our stuff comes from China. China needs us as a customer. But I think China's been building themselves up economically so that they don't have to be dependent on the U.S. They know that everyone buys their stuff.
Well, they're going back to isolationist in a lot of regards, too. I mean, look at the impact on the movie industry where they're very much not taking in a lot of releases right now.
And you know what? The Hollywood used to be the sort of cure for this. Anytime you had this type of dictatorial behavior, Hollywood would fight it. But Hollywood right now is seeing dollar signs in China, including Disney, especially Disney. They made Mulan, in a part of the country where like they have Uyghurs in concentration camps, and they're like, whoops, you know. Wait, have you guys not seen the skits that I do at the beginning of the show? I'm kind of mad now because I work hard on those skits, and I have to make you guys watch every single one of them.
Yeah, you have to replay all of them right now.
Yeah,
All
you know
of
what?
them
I might
now.
Let me see if I got them. Where's my skits thing folder? Hold on. Where's Jivin with Jack? Oh my god, I don't know where my skits are. Poindexter Lounge, Pantheon, skits. Oh, here we are. Yeah, there we go. Okay, honest to God, have you guys not been watching the skits I do? They're basically videos making fun of me. And if you guys want to see them, you know, I'll play them right now. I'm uploading them now. You know what's weird? Here's what's funny. Pakistan is getting cozy with Russia because Pakistan is very good friends with China. They help build the character. Pakistan and China have a very good relationship going back decades. You know, my Hot Wheels collection has suffered dramatically thanks to this BS with China. Yeah. Look, we kind of opened the doors to China. The idea was when Nixon went to China and recognized China, the idea was that, look, we'll work with China and eventually China will chill out. And that actually happened. China was really chill. My dad's been to China. He said they're chilling out. The communist stuff is not that much. But then came Xi Jinping. He came to power about 2010, and he is a big Maoist. And Mao was the guy who created modern China, Red China. Ooh. Do India and China hate each other? They're supposed to on paper because China and Pakistan are friends. But this is weird. Everything's going to...
Nothing makes sense.
Tsuka, speak American. Ome wa mo shinduru.
No, it's Amayo wa Shindoru.
Oh. Do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see? Like, for example, I have a skit. CD Bender. Well, yeah, but like, here's my thing, and I'm going to say something. I think maybe from the beginning, what they should have done was keep everything open, put on a mask, socially distance. And then once the vaccine came, get the vaccine, and that's the end of it. I don't know.
I think it should have been a very hard and strict lockdown. You know, people won't like that. I think we should have been enacted martial law for at least a year.
You do?
Down, and
you believe in martial law?
Not necessarily. No, I'm just saying in the case of what happened, if we would have had a much stricter lockdown for a full year, I think we would have been over this way sooner.
Yeah, but what would it have done? Like a year later, what changed? So it started around, let's say, March. It was really March
2020 to March 2021.
March 2021. What really changed, except that we came out with a vaccine very quickly. I don't think. I think if you had done martial law, I think that would have been really bad. Because the hard truth with this thing is that this is going to kill some people. We don't have a cure. We have a vaccine, and I honestly kind of saw this. Because I've seen it happen before in history. I saw a lot of people in power use this to put forth their political agendas. That does not mean it's not dangerous, but a lot of it became bureaucratic, and a lot of it became SNL did a great skit, and it was like, I thought it was phenomenal because SNL usually is on the side of like, yeah, we should lock down, mandate. Any exercise that takes away people's freedoms for better or worse never works out in the long run. I'm old enough to remember 9/11. They started like video camera, everything to check your emails, check your phones, tap your everything, wiretapping and all that. That never went away. They're still doing that. Right now, our conversations are being recorded.
Should have been. I just know that whatever we did do didn't work.
See, now this is what, Jared, I'm going to be honest with you. This is what kind of ticked me off. Because when that started in May, June, July, and the media was like, oh, this is different. People are allowed to do that. And I agree, people should voice their opinions. But then I'm like, well, why can't I go to church? Why can't I go to Walmart or at least go to the local grocers? Because they shut down local businesses, but they kept the big ones open. So Home Depot was open, Walmart was open, but everything else was shut down. I'm like, wouldn't opening those places take less of a burden from Walmart or Target? But like, unfortunately, everything in the United States or anytime policies implemented in a large way is always political. Do you guys want to see these skits or not? I'm trying to lighten the mood here. Kasuka, do you want to see these skits or not? Because I made them, I've been playing them, but no one's watching them because you all tune in way too late. And the skits are meant to make you laugh. Are you guys ready for this? Do you want to watch these skits? Do you want to see Jack make an ass out of himself? RJ, you can say something.
Wait. Yeah, sure. Let's go for it.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, you know what? I have to delete some videos because apparently there's too many up here. Meanwhile, I think this is awesome.
I just want to see some tongue. I just want to see some. I'll pay for it. Just give me some tongue.
Get the tongue in.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, that is Austin on his birthday riding a big dildo.
A giant mechanical penis at the nerd
A
bar.
giant mechanical penis, folks. But that's impossible, though, Ibrahim. You can't. That's like saying we're not going to go out until we cure the flu or the common cold. Like, it's just their zero COVID strategy is absolutely impossible because everyone at some point will get it. Chances are you have it. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you haven't gotten it yet." I'm like, "Yeah, you have. You probably got it, and your immune system just kicked it out."
My grandparents ended up getting it before everyone else did. They got it in like January or like December of 2019. They got really sick and they had no clue what it was. They thought it was really bad flu.
Dude, December 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, December 2019, I caught a bug and I was running to the bathroom for 2 weeks straight.
You probably had COVID.
I probably had COVID. You know how I cured it? I drank if any Indians or Pakistanis are watching, a drink called lassi. I made it myself. It's just yogurt, sugar, and a little bit of ice. I drank that, didn't go to the bathroom for 2 whole days. And when I was done, it kicked whatever it was. 2 months later, we learn about, this COVID thing. And I'm like, oh, is that what I had? But then I got it. So I haven't done my birthday since 2019 because 2020, my birthday is March 18th. Tell me, RJ, what happened in March of 2020?
COVID hit. Everything shut down. NBA closed. Everything shut down.
Everything closed. So the week before my birthday, everything shuts down. It was
like the week of Onward's release in the United States. That Pixar movie Onward. That's when it all fell apart.
Last year, I planned a big birthday. I'm like, dude, I am getting naked. We're all going to a club and we're all dancing. Saturday, 5 days before the Snyder Cut comes out, Ty at Pop Culture Corner arranges for us to watch the Snyder Cut. That Sunday, while we're doing a live review of the Snyder Cut, my sink collapses. And all of a sudden, I have to go buy a new sink. And all of a sudden, I start to feel a little bit sick. I got COVID. All of us got COVID. So I didn't do my birthday last year. This year, baby, with the mask mandates lifted, without the vaccine card to show our papers, I'm having a blast. I'm going downtown. I'm booking a place. I might even do a live stream. Might show up on Midnight Lounge drunk as hell, like, hey, guys, what's me? But, yeah, it might have been, or it might not have been. That's the thing. All right. Okay. So this was the skit from the very first episode where I got the news that I was going to Poindexter Lounge. So it starts off with me talking about my old assistant, Kevin, who got shot in the head. And the joke was that I shot my assistant. So this is the first one.
Yes, detective, as I said, my assistant Kevin shot himself in the back of the head as he was running away. Yes, I do know that's a strange way to die. Oh, he's in a coma. Oh, okay, whatever. Yes, I'm the only witness. Listen, detective, could you let me know the second he wakes up so I can so I can be there to greet him? Thank you, detective. Whew. Close. Come in. Oh, hey, guys. What are you guys doing here?
Hey, so sorry to hear about Kevin.
Yeah, man. It's terrible. Kevin? Oh, yeah, Kevin. He got shot in the back of the head. I'm going to need a new assistant. Yes, it was very sad what happened to Kevin. I know I'll never be the same again. Hold on one second. Hello? What? I'm going to Poindexter Lounge? Yes! Forget Kevin, guys! It's time to party! Yeah! Going to Poindexter Lounge! Going to Poindexter Lounge! Going to Poindexter Lounge! Going to Poindexter Lounge! Go! Yeah! to Kevin!
Oh my God.
So I just want to say I have lost a lot of weight since I've been working out almost every day. So I've lost significant weight. I'm still kind of chunky, but that video was not flattering. I've been doing the bench press. My boobs are kind of pulling up a little bit, but my gut is still, oh my God. I'm like watching myself dance. I'm like, oh my God. And that was for so the way I look at the skits are supposed to be like Jack in these skits is he thinks he's Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada, but he's actually Michael Scott, you know? And so then we made the subsequent. I have like 7 more, but I think they're funnier. But here we go. This is right after that.
Yeah! Jack. I'm going to Poindexter Lounge! Yes! You're on the show, Jack? Yes!
When's it on?
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Back up right now. Oh, it's right now. I gotta do my show.
What do we do now?
Keep partying!
So anyway, yeah, we used to do these skits. The idea was to get people like kind of laugh at me to kind of get them in like a festive mood. We have a couple ones. I think the one coming next week is all the celebrities who are willing to come on Jiving with Jack, and it's not a good list. But anyway, yeah. I'm working on, baby. I work out a lot. I'm trying to lose that weight. I mean, this is where I'm at right now. I was not able to wear this shirt 4 weeks ago. I'm still working on it. Dude, losing weight sucks. It's hard. You got to watch what you eat. You got to watch. It's not even just about exercise, you know. It's hard. But when I get ripped, and I'm going to show all of you, I'm going to do an OnlyFans where I do Jiving with Jack. And the whole time it's going to like flex my muscles the whole time. I'll be like, hey, you know. But yeah, I am chunky. I'm working on it. By the way, I believe in fat shaming. I think, you know, it's when you get fat shamed, you start to think about losing weight. It's not good for you. By the way, one thing they won't tell you is 70% of the people who died from COVID, what do they have in common, RJ? Do you know?
They were overweight.
Overweight, unfortunately. Kasuka, I hope to God you look nothing like Kevin. Don't ruin my fantasy. You know, where's the picture of Kasuka? Where the hell is it? Oh, did I lose it? Oh well, but yeah. So where the hell the Japanese girl? Where the hell is it? Oh my God, I can't. Did I delete it? Maybe Kasuka. I think I deleted your photo. That's not it.
That's Kim Kardashian. Kanye.
That's not.
That's
Kasuka.
Brittany.
Let me see. No.
I
guess Peacemaker. Where the hell is the picture of Kasuka? I literally saw this girl while I'm playing. They did a remastered version of Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
There
I
it
heard
is.
about that. Yeah.
And I saw her. I'm like, oh, that's Kasuka. I literally screenshot the game. So this is off my PS5. That's me playing. And I'm like, there's Kasuka. And I like screenshot. I'm like, I got to share that on the show. But you know what? I was in phenomenal shape during the first lockdown because I was working out every day. I was doing that insanity. I got sexy. You should see my beach photos. Ibrahim, thank you so much. Yeah, we're essentially done. We're just cancel Kevin. How dare you delete me? You're still there, beautiful. For RJ, I don't know if you're in on the joke on Kasuka.
I don't believe I am. I kind of have a vague idea.
So Kasuka, I wasn't sure if it was a guy or a girl. So I said to her, I was like, listen, can you tell me your pronoun so I don't misgender you? He said, I'm not going to tell you. I said, all right, fine. Then in my mind, you're a 19-year-old Japanese girl from Okinawa. Turns out Kasuka is a guy, but like, I'm like, dude, I already made my mind up. That's the truth. Integrity, where the hell have you been? Yeah, it's you to fool them. It's just show them to be fooled. Yeah, well, look. Yeah, well, you know, I think these are kind of ridiculous. I mean, how many times do we see footage of like politicians who are very pro lockdown and mask mandates not wearing masks when they had events? It seemed to me they weren't taking it seriously. So I think a lot of people were like, why should we take it seriously? Especially, I think a lot of Americans have gotten it and kind of either beat it or were able to get through it. But that doesn't ignore the fact that a lot of people got it and died, and a lot of people got it and have not been able to recover. But then there were people who got vaccinated and had issues with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I don't know. I don't think that we handled this well to begin with. Australia has some draconian measures that are kind of scary, but let's just say I'm not fooled by this. I think that come next fall, when we will have another variant, because that's just how these things work, they're going to, try to do another lockdown. At that point, I think you're going to see some massive rioting a la V for Vendetta.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. RJ's like, I want martial law in the streets. I'm like, oh.
No.
He's like, I want martial law.
I just want peace.
You know what, RJ?
That's
You know
all I
what?
want.
After your inability to stand up to Jar, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. No, I live for chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. You know, it's funny. Last Thursday, Enosh accidentally ended the stream, so he jumped on the stream like he did today, and then he accidentally, instead of exiting, ended the broadcast. And we did another show. We talked about white colonialism. We talked about capitalism versus communism, and we just got into it. And I was like, oh, this is a good show. This is a good show, and like 300 people watched it. So. Integrity's going like full QAnon. I'm just joking. Can you see the comments?
Yeah.
Listen, this is the way I look at it. If you have health issues, talk to your doctor, and this is deadly for you or dangerous to you, still mask up. My dad got it. He's vaccinated, but I still make him mask up because he's 70 years old. You know what I mean? Still mask up. Take the precautions. If not, have fun. Go out and dance. I'm going to dance like you saw in that video. By the way, I can dance okay for my birthday. RJ, where do you live? Vegas?
Not anymore. No. I live way far away. I live all the way.
I'm going to need you to vamp for about rant for about 10 seconds. Keep talking.
Yeah, I live all the way down in the deep, 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 the deepest of the deep, the deep, 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 deep.
You better say south.
South, yes.
You're in the south. Well, that explains
Yes.
your association with jar button. I'm just kidding.
No.
There we go. There we go. This is an actual bullwhip autographed by Rob Halford of Judas Priest. He used this whip on stage. So Rob Halford, he's the singer of Judas Priest. He comes out on a motorcycle, and he takes this leather whip out for a song called Hell Bent for Leather. He used this whip, autographed by him. Took me a second. It was like all the way in the back of the closet, but yeah. Actual bullwhip. This thing is heavy. Like, it's not like the ones they sell like sex toy shop. Like, oh no, this is heavy. This is meant for actual cattle. But anyway, it's autographed by him, Rob Halford. It's right there. It's pretty cool. Judas Priest is my favorite band of all time. So that's my whip. So Jared, you asked for it, baby. You're gonna get it. Sorry, I just had to. As soon as I saw the whip, I'm like, what? Yeah. But anyway, so I'm actually gonna go watch Star Trek Picard. The new season just dropped.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you're a Star Trek fan.
I'm very casual. Very casual.
I'm excited for it. I know I'm excited for it. So I do want to thank Austin left and never came back. I think Austin probably hated the topics. And let me see. Here we go.
I think he was kidnapped by Kevin.
To me at all. Oh well, whatever. Anyway, guys, I want to thank all 16 of you who stayed behind. RJ, where can we find you? I know it's on the screen, but tell everyone where we can find you.
Yeah, pretty simple. It's Resonant Justice, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. I'll probably be doing a Batman spoiler review on Friday afternoon, so that'll be tomorrow.
Listen, why don't you come back Tuesday after I've seen the movie and the three of us can talk about the movie with spoilers on Tuesday? Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'm totally down. If I'm available, I'd love to do that.
Oh, look at RJ getting all haughty now. Listen, RJ, no one's inviting you on their streams except for me. No, I'm just joking. But no one wants to hang with toxic fanboy. No, I'm kidding.
I know.
Yeah. But I want to thank RJ. Again, folks, you can find him Resident Justice on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitch. He'll be doing his review. You have a channel called Resident Justice, right?
Yeah, it's a place for toxic fanboys only, though.
Yeah, there we go. And that's what I want. I want the toxic fans and the toxic girls, all two of you who watch the show. Peace. I hate my phone. Catwoman is the best female DC character. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I wish they would do Catwoman like they did in the 90s, you know. Talk about Pam Anderson. But anyway, folks, until I find a better catchphrase, thank you for watching Jivin' with Jack. It's not a name, it's a lifestyle.
Get jivin'.